The following podcast episode might contain coarse language and subjects not suitable for younger audiences. Your discretion is advised. Admit it, you're the one responsible for the countless deaths, the so-called god of this world, Kira.
Soon, everyone will succumb to my will, Elle.
Live from a not-so-sleepy little town comes a podcast for a mobile game. Really? Anyhow, your hosts, a content creator and an artist trying to come up with wild ideas while also talking about whatever. It's the Goosebumps HorrorTown TerrorVision podcast!
Hello, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, or good night, whatever time you're watching this. Hello. Welcome back to Goosebumps HorrorTown TerrorVision Podcast, episode 13, and the season 2 premiere. Yay, we made it to another year. 2025, baby. But by the time you watch this, it's already February, but still, yay, February. Belated Valentine's Day, which is not abnormal for Goosebumps, especially in Horrortown. It wouldn't be the first time we've had a belated Valentine's, and I wish we could talk about that, but we won't for a minute. But we have lots to talk about today, so we'll hold that topic maybe in the future. We'll see what comes up. But anyways, I'm Grim as always, and with me is my co-host.
I love you. You love me.
Let's go have a gay party of happiness and sunshine.
You should have a lobotomy.
Hey, it's the guy from Yu-Gi-Oh! My voice gives me super strength.
My voice gives me super strength.
Yeah, fun. Anyways, hello, Vampire. How have you been? How was the holidays?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good.
That's good. So, no more Susie for now. Sad.
No Christmas.
It's never Christmas. It's never no more. I love that. It's just like it's never a boring time for Susie. Jolly time. Yeah.
Yeah. Just like as soon as we start up another podcast in December, it's just like it's jolly time.
Yeah, just like that meme again. Yeah. Anyways, we got a lot of stuff to talk about, folks. Namely, there's a bit of Goosebumps thing we want to talk about, or one person, anyways, and me listen kind of thing. And we'll talk about this recent Christmas update I had from our game, which is, I believe, it was Claus. So that will be interesting to talk about fully. As well
Based on
as
Claus. The event
based on
itself was
it's called Santa Claus. Yes, yeah, no, funny puns. I fucking called it, by the way. I fucking called it why they did Claus for that particular reason. But then you were like, oh, maybe it's because of the Yule Cat, and it's just like, well, that might have been some inspiration for the monster. So it's just like, well, okay, fine, you get this little whatever. They tried.
It is a bit of that inspiration.
We'll talk more when we get to that. And then finally, we talk about my belated Valentine's Day update, which I think you might enjoy because this has been something I really wanted badly. But again, I don't think you'll ever bring it. So I figured, fuck it. We'll do it live. Fuck it. We'll do it in my version. So
your magnum opus.
Yeah. Well, not my magnum opus. I don't know what my magnum opus will be, but this is something I really wanted in the game. Namely, as an excuse to see you draw them. I wanted them to be drawn, damn it. So we'll talk more about that in a minute. But first, before we do that, it's time that I get that goosebumps every time because we're going to be talking about the new episode that just popped in, Goosebumps The Vanishing, because July 10th passed and all 8 episodes came in. And
seasons, Jesus Christ! Imagine the binge.
Wow. I know. Jeez. Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna meme on every time. If hopefully we get to see more Goosebumps seasons, but it's like every time that happens, I'm just gonna bring up like a Goosebump because they fucking memed it on the first season. So I'm like, you know what? Nah, screw it. This is a meme now. You brought Travis Scott into this. He's gonna stay now. Anyways, this is a segment I like to call Grim listens to Vampire review The Vanishing because he didn't watch it. Grim
Also
is
known
out.
as What Grim Missed.
Yes, here's what Grim missed. So go ahead. Tell me every.
Yeah.
No, okay, I'll be honest. I did not watch all the episodes, but I am familiar with some things and I've watched some reviews, so I have some idea what the community has thought overall. So I got that much. But myself, what I think of it, I can't say because I didn't watch the damn thing because I didn't want to give Disney my money and didn't have anyone I can mooch off of. Unlike some people, but hey, no shame. No shame. I don't blame you. I don't want to give Disney Mickey Mouse my money either. Which, funny enough, that
Come on, did you want to spare a few cents? Haha.
oh, the mascot of Evil Corporation.
Hard times. Disney's on hard times.
Hot dog. Yeah, it's gonna be funny talking about
Isn't
Mickey,
doing anything.
another Mickey at some point. But for now, yeah, let's discuss a little bit about this new season. I will say though, I guess I was correct when I said that this was basically American Horror Story for kids because they basically started the second season as The Vanishing, which is like how American Horror Story did with their season, where at first it's the first one was American Horror Story, and then it came into, I believe, Asylum was the second season, then the third was Covenant, and then the fourth
You mean
season,
Covenant.
The Goat, Freak Show, and then it got, then it it kind of
That's like the goat of all
okay,
seasons.
yeah.
I'm willing
And
to
then
die
we
on
got
that
the Lady
fucking
Gaga season, but anyways, we're divulging. But anyways, yeah. So this weird Riverdale slash Stranger Things ripoff thing. I get what they were trying to do with the show, though. Like it, from what I understand, it's like people wanted this to be an anthology, but that's not the case. When they originally pitched this, they were like, we wanted adults and kids to like this. And I think what they meant when they wanted to do that was kind of take elements from books and kind of merge them into one unique story that kind of has elements from books and be like, oh, I know that thing. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's
Yeah.
kind of like taking the HorrorTown approach where it's taking its own inspiration, like basically basing something off, but kind of taking its own thing, but kind of keeping it to the source material. I think the first season kind of had lost its way. Like it was trying to find its footing for sure. So it kind of, because of that, it kind of like, and I think people had higher expectations to what it delivered. So the second season kind of started off with everyone's expectations being low. And I think for the most part, the second season came off with, yeah, it's okay. Better than the first one for sure. Not my favorite, but yeah, it's good. It's going on the right track. But I don't know what you think.
So I'm not gonna spoil a whole bunch because I actually kind of want the review on the next episode, and we'll speak about that one.
Secrets.
But I will say that the second season is actually a lot better than the first one, not by a whole degree, because everyone knows the faults with the first season. The
Yeah.
second season is very
Fucking Can Do or whatever the fuck his name is.
yes, can do.
Did
Can
Slappy
do.
was the villain?
Anyway,
No, it was Can Do this entire time. Who the fuck is he? I don't know. A magic
what
man.
can do? What
Yeah.
can do? Anyway, so it does go on a very sci-fi-esque route that does involve David Schwimmer playing as Doctor, and he's kind of one of the main characters of the series,
You know, the guy from
which I
Stay Out of
actually
the
love
Basement.
because honestly, he kind of just like carries a whole bunch of the show, in my personal opinion, because I love David Schwimmer. He was great on Friends.
Well, it's kind of like what happened with the first series with
Yeah,
what's his
Justin
face?
Long.
Justin Long, yeah. Because I think that's going to be a thing now that if they're doing a third season, fingers crossed, because that gives us more slop to talk about, that we would actually see another B-list actor come in and be like, "Oh, I know that guy," right? But it seems
Yeah,
like
he
he had fun with
like
the
if you
show.
like a lot of the stuff that he does say is actually like really fucking genius. I like it. Like
I
the
think
one
the
that
bit,
I always favorite most is like his little plant joke in the teasers. Like, what kind of
yeah,
plant should you always watch out for?
an ambush.
And
Yeah, him being the dad joke. The thing is, I think one of the like some people were talking about how they didn't like his performance or it was lacking, but I think one of the biggest issues from what I understand is that his character's age does not look how the actor looks because he's a little bit older now. He's like maybe in his what I say in his 60s or 50s. for David
Yeah, but
for Swimmer,
um,
because I think they were
I
like saying that he's in his 30s, but it's like no, he looks a lot older, right? Like if he was, but I get it. They want to put him in the time period where, from what I understand, it's basically the 90s era was supposed to be him as a younger kid, and his older brother was the one who ended up disappearing with 4 other people.
yeah, like the reason why people might not see. Okay, so there's like to explain Schwimmer's character, right? Brewer, Uh, he was the reason why I guess a lot of people don't really like his performance is mainly because his character is kind of like this scrawny little nerdy character, especially when he was like really young.
Well, I mean,
Like,
it makes sense. He's an lobotomist, right? Like, what the fuck are they gonna do?
he's just like a lobotomist.
Oh God, no, a botanist, a lobotomist. Fuck, he takes bodies. I mean, he could be, for all we know. I don't know.
That's funny.
Yes,
So,
Grimm's fucking mouth screws him again.
but yeah, he does like at a very young age, like around his like teens when he was like in high school. Like he does take a very big interest in botany.
Yeah,
But like I said, I don't want to spoil a whole bunch because I kind of want to save it for the next episode.
that's the.
Because
By the way,
I
that's the study of plants. If you don't know.
I know that viewers might be young, but I don't think they're that stupid.
Well, I mean,
Anyway,
well, first of all, if you were watching this as young, you shouldn't be doing that. I put warnings on there. We're
yeah,
swearing like a sailor. You can't be here. Out you go.
but if you watch it anyway, that's the fault of your parents.
Yeah, don't tell them. Just shh. It's our little secret. What are you doing,
Anyway,
Timmy? Nothing, Mom. Bah!
anywho, so um, it does tackle a lot of the episodes a little bit more true to their inspirations a little.
Yeah, I've noticed that. Like, they have the haunted car there, and they mentioned, I think, that funny. They changed it to the boy who cried monster instead of the girl who cried monster. The
Yeah, they
ghost
did do
next
that.
door. Welcome to Camp Nightmare, and I think the last episodes were the invasion of the body squeezers, which a lot of
So I
people were
will
saying
say
that this
that
was kind
the
of like
most
Stranger
I will
Things
say
at
that the
home.
most
Sorry.
I will say that the most kind of disappointing thing I will say was the episode of Welcome to Camp Nightmare because there was a plot where one of the characters, Cece, right?
Yeah.
She goes on and on about going to debate camp and all that shit, and I kind of thought that this threat was going to go to the debate camp and therefore give it the name Camp Nightmare, but no, it talks about a different location that happens to be called Camp Nightmare, and it's kind of disappointing.
Out of curiosity,
So
is the camp in question kind of like the secret underground laboratory thing that's going on there? Because I kind of called it from like
yeah, yeah, apparently the story, or the
I
backstory
fucking
of
knew it.
quote unquote Camp
Here's the
Nightmare is
thing.
that
I understand that those books were like the classics and everything like that, but why the fuck did you not go to Welcome to Camp Slither? That whole book was a concept of, hey, here's a campsite, but really it's a secret like an underground facility, but with snake people.
yeah, but they would have to like implement snakes in there somehow, and that
They
would
could
already
do
feel
that. I'm sure they're smart enough to do that. Oh, the alien snakes.
well.
But I
No,
get it.
the
It's not as
aliens
popular
are
as
a little
Welcome to Camp
different.
Nightmare. Yeah, I get it. It's not as popular. It hasn't been there the longest. I get it, but still, it's just things
But
like that
like
kind of annoy me a little bit. But
the
yeah,
whole camp, the whole debate camp thing is actually just kind of a red herring.
yeah. What's the deal with these aliens? I feel like the meme
Uh,
guy. It was just like aliens.
well, actually, they kind of remind me of those weird alien creatures from Zenless Zone Zero. I don't know if you played that.
No,
Don't worry,
sadly.
neither have I.
So why you bring it up?
Because I've seen the brain rot trailer that is the Bernice song.
Oh my god. Speaking of brain rot, I can't believe fucking Skibbity Toilet is becoming a thing. Like we got him in Fortnite now. God, it's like
Oh
why
god,
why is it
he's even
being
in
popular? Why
Minecraft.
are we getting slop now? It's just like that's based on assets owned by Valve. How come he's getting away with it? Just he can't keep getting away with this shit.
He's
Can't
also
keep getting
it's
away
also in
with
fucking Minecraft of all things too. God.
I know.
Anyway,
Fucking
aliens.
Angry Birds me mentioning
They
it too, which
are
is sad.
They are bipedal, or not bipedal, sorry, they're quadrupeds. Sorry. I got confused with bipeds because Grim showed me a video of the Amanda Files Sneasler rant.
I love that, by the way. It's just funny. It's just like this adult woman. Like, who is this? Like this
Who is
in
this
walks,
adult?
in
Where's the
walks,
folk
on
two
2 legs,
legs,
bipedal,
bipedals.
bipedally walks. A
This
full-fledged
alpha
Bipedally.
mean
bitch
girl
Oh.
bully
cheerleader pop
pop
star
star, a cheerleader with a side
with a
ponytail
fucking
and a fresh
mane.
fucking manny.
I
Anyway,
love her. I love her a little rant because she goes off on this character. It's just like, open your heart. I play the flute. She laughs at you. She laughs at you.
right?
No other Pokemon does that. She fucking knew she was gonna hate it, and she did, and that pretty put my strain there.
But yeah, the
I paid 60.
aliens kind of have like a Demigorgon-esque type look to them, similar to Stranger Things, yes.
Yeah,
But
but I guess it's
how
plant
they
monsters.
how they operate, basically, from what I understand, is that the real entity, I would say, is like the quote unquote spaceship, they call it, but I just don't believe it's a spaceship because
It's an
there are
egg.
attributes to a spaceship that this weird sentient creature thing doesn't have,
Yeah.
but they call it a spaceship. I don't know why.
I
Anyway,
mean, I
so how it
guess
works.
it's a transporter thing that flies. I guess that's the best they can come up with because they don't know what
Well,
the
this
fuck it
isn't
is. So it's
exactly a
like
transport because this is like
it's
an
that
actual.
you know what it is? It's that meme of the fucking anime character looking at a butterfly. He's like, "Is this a pigeon?" It's like the same thing here. Is this a spaceship?
But this is like a whole like symbiote looking creature
I
thing, you
know
know.
that's the thing. It makes sense with the meme because it's stupid, but
Anyway, from what I understand, this ashy, gooey substance crap comes from the quote unquote spaceship and affects the lungs of anyone who like is exposed to them,
yeah.
and then like experiences like severe head traumas, not like blunt force trauma or anything, but more like weird headaches and bleeding from the eyes and shit like that. And
Turning into a
they're
blob monster like that beginning
no,
trailer, or is that this?
no, no. I'll explain that next episode, but
Okay, okay.
uh, they basically like if I can recollect a whole bunch of things that happen, they get like eventually they kind of just disappear, and it turns out their bodies are kind of underground in this camp nightmare, quote unquote, where they're inside these weird pods.
Oh my god, it's the pod people thing.
Yeah,
Oh
they went with
god.
the pod people route with this one too.
Well, I mean, it's like
Um,
called the body snatch squeezer is supposed to be like based on body snatchers, which is the same premise, right? So it's like it makes. I guess where I get where they're coming from that thing there.
but there's like this antidote that one of the characters kind of mucks about with for a while, and eventually the antidote like I guess wears off or something, and then like all of the characters who are affected by this goopy shit, well, most of them, uh what happens to them is that they kind of have their bodies morph back into these quadruped alien creatures and like go on a rampage.
Yeah,
But like I
weird.
said, I'll save a whole bunch of that for next episode,
All
but
right.
I will say it's a lot better than the first season. It's for the most part, with the exception of like Camp Nightmare, it's very true to the names for like a vast majority of the stories that they're titled.
I'll try to see if I can't find myself to watch a review, or no, let's watch it myself or something like that to try to get the grasp some things. But I will say before we move on, I will say this as a hot take. I like the intro to the show. I know a lot of people, the OGs, are like, 90s were better. I love the 90s song. I get it. I do too. It's bopping. I use that every time I get. But, but, I understand where this show is coming from. And it's nice theming that kind of sets you into the mood of what's going on. It's simple to the point. And the second season basically proved my point of them why they made it so generic on purpose is because each of the like each season has its own theme, right? The beginning bit was basically an introduction to the show. It's like, oh, it's based on the book, so that's like ink going onto a piece of paper, right? The second show, the second season, has these weird, I guess, Venom alien type tentacle things, right? You know what I mean. Basically, that's forming the Goosebumps logo, and I'm just like, oh, okay, see, like I see what they're getting at. They're like, we're bringing element of the season into to the introduction, right? And you know, again, it's it sets the mood. You get what you're getting. You know, it's not, like the thing is with the '90s show, it made sense with the whole beep bopping, like, oh, viewer beware, you're in for a scare, kind of like it's campy, right? And that's what you get. This one's more like, no, this is a little bit more serious. People can die in here, okay? We got some teen
And
drama.
technically, one person does die, but I'm not going to spoil that one.
We got some teen drama here. We got fucking Chop Suey being played on the radios. This is edgy shit. This ain't your grandpa's Goosebumps. R.L. Stein approves this, by the way. So, that's a hot take. Like, I know people don't like it. They have the right to their opinions. I'm just saying, I don't hate it.
I don't either. It's actually a lot better than the first season.
Yeah, it's nice somber. It kind of gives you creepy. Go like, ooh, it's kind of give me goosebumps. Which I think it's what they were trying to do. It's just like give you all goose pimply.
Imagine if like Stein called it Goose Pimples instead of Goosebumps.
I love it too because it was going to be called Channel 5.
Channel 5.
Yeah, the meme of it was basically like, I don't know what to call the show, so I looked in the TV spot, those TV news, those channels, the TV channel, papers that kind of tell
TV
you what's
guide.
coming. Yeah, TV guides. He was reading it, and there was one segment that says, "Tune in Channel 5 for a marathon of Goosebumps," and it's like, that's it. That's what I'll call it, Channel 5. But then I find out that was too generic, so I went with Goosebumps instead. Again, I love Stein. I love his dry humor. He's great. Anyways, so I guess we'll hold off on that for now. I think we're going to talk most about that. Let's talk about the Mickey Mouse in the room. Let's talk about Santa Claus.
Mickey Mouse.
I love it. I don't know what you felt about my Mickey Mouse interpretation for Mikey's voice. I feel like I did him dirty. I gave him a proper voice for the rest of the parts, but part 2, I basically was pissed. I'm like, you know what? No, Mickey Mouse voice for you. Even with him crying, it's just so stupid. And the other thing too, I pointed out that when I got the assets from the company, they called Mickey's house Mickey Mouse. So it's like even they know. It's a stupid. It's fine. That's a stupid name. I'm sorry. Who the fuck names a child Mickey Co? Like, fuck. And speaking of Mickey Co, very weird choice that they decided to go with. Let's do reference of Short Round from Indiana Jones: The Temple of Doom.
Right.
Like, that is the strange. Like, they weren't even like shy about it. They're like flat out, this is what we're basing this character off of. Which is, to be fair, it's not unnormal. We've seen them do stuff like this before, like how Madame Mistress Barbarous Mistress Barbarous was fuck, what's the vampire's name? Lady Demetress.
Lady Demetress.
The Lady Demetress, yeah. Basically, that's Lady Demetress right there. There's no fucking the hat, the fucking look. Come on, come on.
Well,
We know what they were basing it off of.
And the big mommy stature,
Yeah, the big mommy, big vampire mommy energy.
Oh yeah, that's the one thing she was missing.
Oh fuck hell! People wanted to crush me, mommy. It's just like, fuck, goddamn. It's just you people are sick.
I've heard of more sicker things.
Funny? I remember this. I know this is off topic, but someone drew a perspective of what if you were Madame Detress's mirror while she was talking to on the phone during that conversation, and then the one that got her popular was, what if you were the chair? And they're like, oh, fuck off. And then Markiplier playing that game, and he was just like, oh, ooh, mommy. Yes, please. And they even joked about the whole think, Mark. What did you think was gonna happen when I sat on you, huh? And like, whoo, you got the Squidward face going on there. Him getting squished. Anyways, let's go on track because we love going off track. But that's the name of the game. We're like Donkey Kong. We jump off different tracks every time we come back, but we come back on the same track at some point. So, what are your thoughts on the Santa Claus update? For the most part,
I don't know. I mean, this is kind of like a personal pet peeve of mine, but I'm already kind of getting sick of the kid characters.
man, you saw my rant. I fucking hate that. I want them to bring some adults or some sort of interesting characters, right? Like, I'll be
Just
fair.
more
Sometimes
serious,
if the
like
kid characters are a
monster.
monster, I'm like, okay, you get your point. But if normal kid characters, no, I'm sorry, we got a lot of those. We got those filled. We need more unique characters, right? So, whatever this next update's
Especially
going to be, fucking
the
please
one
give
thing
me
that
some interesting characters. I'm sick of
no,
these
like the one
heroes.
thing that really annoys me about the kid characters is that as soon as we do get the new kid characters, they're like easily forgotten in like the next update. Like for example, Noah Bean, right? Like
Yeah, I mean, he was
that's what
interesting at least. He was a monster, right? And in the same way, I guess you can argue Terry because she's a ghost, although she doesn't really show her ghost powers. It's just like, oh yeah, she's just go. Okay, sure. But
this kid just owns a monster cat, and it's not even like something that you can interact with. Or it's not
I'll
like
give
what
him
like
credit.
the player characters or anything.
At least his animations have the monster cat involved, so at least we have Bella around. By
Yeah,
the way,
but that's like the same thing as like fucking Jillian when she has Mary Ellen.
yeah, I know. I hated that.
Like
That'll be an
this
update
is like
we'll
the
talk
same thing
about
as
and
like
rant about
my
when we
rant
get a
with like
chance.
this is like the same thing with like my problem with Bride when compared to Claus. I would
Yes,
rather
well,
have a Mary Ellen rather than a Jillian. And
yes,
with
yes,
Claus, it's just basically the
yes.
same thing. I would
I know,
rather
I
have a
know. Well,
Bella than a
but
Mickey.
save your temptation of hating on Bride for a moment. We're gonna talk about that in the future. For now, it's Claus, okay? We put that in a box. We'll open it up when we need to. We're gonna vent on that, but we don't. We'll have it there. It has to have its own special video. Let's just put it that way. We don't have time to talk about that as well. I wish we did, but we don't. So we're trying to make do what we can.
Honestly, I kind of thought you would have tackled Bride in this episode, considering
You
that
would think,
it would be
but
released on
we also
February.
had to deal with this update, right? This belated this Christmas update that just passed. So we have to
Yeah, but
deal
we
with
didn't
one.
even talk about Ghost Beach last time, so
We did. We did talk about Ghost Beach, though. We kind of talked a little bit about it at one point, and we talked a little bit about another point, and then we kind of wrapped everything up in a little, like we wrapped everything up. So it's just like,
it worked.
that's what we did. And we usually tend to save talking about it until until the update was finally done, so that we all kind of saw what was presented to us in a sense. What I will say about that update, though, it's a little bit better than I would say the last update we had. I mean, the two-parters were interesting, but I think the second part fell flat because there was like less stuff there. But one thing I will say is that, my God, the amount of assets they used for Snoopy, Adams, that is dead now, and her Oasis, which is also dead now, that they're just grabbing those items and bringing them into the game. Mind you, they're altering it, so it's new, but you can still tell where they came from, right? Even the newest stuff, I can tell they were made out of certain like other assets in a way, which I pointed out in my videos. So, but still, not like I'm complaining, but it's just like it's interesting that this is the way they're going about it. It's like you can tell this is like save on much money as possible, giving them all this stuff. Let's just see. Let's just grab this here. There you go. I got someone who walked in here. What are you doing? Sorry, a dog came in.
Oh,
You're not supposed to be in this update. It's about cats. That was last time. Out you go. Anyways,
yeah,
he's a
we
he's a
already
lovable he's a lovable goofball. What are you doing, Oliver? Yeah, yeah.
Oliver wants company.
Yeah. Oh God, yes, I know. Oliver and Company. Talking about why he's good at that. Yeah, good boy. Good boy. Bye bye. I left my door kind of open, so he just kind of lightly pushed it, but now I closed it, so now there's no way he can push it unless he's able to open the door, which I doubt. You know.
And then, like, conspiracy theorists on the internet will confuse him for a skinwalker.
Oh fuck! Please no.
That's
Anyways,
actually something that not
please.
recently, but it is something that did
Yeah,
happen.
look,
Apparently, he
I'm
trained
dealing
his.
with another monster as we speak. Like, when I was looking at Bella and her talking, I'm like, man, why the fuck does she remind me of like Willow? Like, fuck. Like, don't get me wrong. Like she's fun in her own extent, but she's also a pain in the ass.
Well, that's kind of her character.
I know that. I know that. And here's the thing: I'm trying to work with something with her, and it's like trying to find a right fit, and it's just like it's not there yet. It's coming, but it's not there yet. Let's put it that way. But I have my fun with her, but still, the amount of fucking, you know, whiskers I have to buy is ridiculous. You know how much I had to
She
buy
does
for a
love her
fucking
whiskers.
crate and bought Costco? It's like, Jesus. The amount of fucking food she eats too. Like, Jesus Christ. I love that we're talking about a fictional character as if she's real, by the way.
Well, thanks for spoiling the magic.
That's what I do. I like spoiling stuff.
I
I
bet
like to
you're
make it
fun to
grounded
take to
reality after
Disneyland.
playing pretend. I don't want people to think I'm that cringe, but I like that as a fun
I bet you're
sport.
lots of fun in Disneyland. You just like go on all the rides. Like, hey, that's not real.
Hey, that guy,
Electronic.
you know that
There was
Mouse?
like a little kid's dream.
Minnie Mouse over there? That's a dude.
That's just some sweaty guy in a costume.
Um, I feel bad for those people too. Like, kudos to them, fucking hard workers and all that. But it's like I feel bad for them at the same time. It's just like, God,
Yeah.
I can only imagine. Like, can you imagine someone being that depressed and he has to be like acting all happy and like, you know what I mean? It's just like, anyways.
Actually, as far as I know, like in terms of like the Mickey Mouse one, I think all he does is just do the gestures, and there's like a little animatronic head that like plays
Yeah,
like
I've
the
noticed that too. They want to make it more
like
real
prompts and
life,
shit.
which is cool. Don't get me wrong, but the yeah. So, anyways, the story of
My only question is, how the fuck does he see out of that thing?
I don't know. It's weird. It's not like Jim Henson when he has like a TV monitor in there. So I'm sure they've made it so that it's able to be seen and comfortable for the actors involved. But the story is quite interesting for this update, especially that they brought fucking Eric Affabee back after what he did originally, ruining fucking Slappy's lore. But
Now here he comes ruining Mickey Mouse.
no, I mean he did an okay job this time, but I was surprised, but at the same time, like, you know what? I'm still on to you. I'm not still like, but I still love it too. I'm just like listening to him talking. It's like, wait, who's that? It's like, oh no, it's you. No, it's you again. All right. But I love the idea behind it because this is taking place as a Hall of Horror book, and they're like, well, the concept of the Hall of Horror is basically like it's a subsection to the Horrorland series in the sense that it's a
Yeah.
little attraction of sorts where people come in and kind of tell their scary stories, and there's like this bookkeeper, like a story keeper, or the listener is what they call them, which is like a horror, which is all like, okay, you tell me the story and I'll keep it in my little book kind of thing. So they made Eric Affabee this character instead. So he's like telling the story of like how Mickey comes into his house and he's just like telling him the story about his monster cat.
So
I
basically, from what I'm understanding so far, he's just plagiarizing because isn't he supposed to be a writer?
He's the guy who made the fucking books for all he cares. He can plagiarize all he wants.
Yeah, but how many of those, like, okay, so
You
if
see
we're
how
really,
big that guy is. Do you want to really mess with him? No, no. He towers over everybody. He's like fucking 8 feet tall.
yeah,
He's
but,
like Andre the
yeah,
Giant
but he
type of level.
basically just stole, like, the fucking typewriter from the Blob Monster.
He doesn't. Like, the blob monster didn't exist there. He's a fucking craftable item. But yeah,
Well,
yeah, that's a
I
disappointment. You know
mean,
what? We'll talk. That will be an update we talk about at some point too, because that was a fucking disappointment when that came out.
eh.
Anyways, yeah, the story was interesting, especially with Lucy's just like, oh, let's go see Mickey, because one of the characters in there, like the cat's own Bella's owner, fucking Mrs. Chaplin, she's dead. I'm like, oh, that's great. That's something I've noticed recently. It's like any character that is supposed to be in the book originally, dead or no longer exists. So Terry's brother, what are you talking about? Doesn't exist.
And Sadler, or like Harrison Sadler, who the fuck
Well,
is
who
that?
the fuck is that? I don't know who that is.
Is he another
Oh, but Mrs.
spooky
Kaplan,
ghost?
she
Sorry, but we
dead.
only have room for one
She
ghost.
died
Well, technically
recently.
3, but
Yeah, she died recently. Gave fucking Mickey her cat. Like, there you go, bitch. Anyways,
your
so I
kid
love
is
how,
really annoying cat for me.
yeah,
And
it's
then
like Kit
dead.
Kat, everything like that, right? And it's just like Dustin being a little brat. He's just like, I don't want to be here. I want fucking cookies, right? He specified,
How about Whiskas?
I want cookies. I want whiskers, right? So he
I
leaves the
want
door
Whiskas.
open. Bella goes outside for some reason, and then she gets hit by a fucking truck. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, really had to put that in there. Like, yeah, no, she got hit by a
You
truck.
say
She dead.
you say okay, so you say for some reason, but there's actually this weird thing where like if
I
you open like
know
a
the
front
original
door
book's
or any
premise of
your
why
cat's
that
just in a
happened.
suit.
Yeah, yeah, they don't explain it in the story. Look, in the actual game logic, like in the story, I understand why it happened. I explained it originally. Apparently, she's reenacting her death, right? Because she's technically dead already. So that's
Yeah.
the premise from there. I just mean in the sense of like I guess no, it's like a normal occurrence. Like if she gets hit by a car, okay, but a fucking truck, like really? How big is this truck?
It's the magical isekai Chuck-kun. Come to take
Well,
Bella.
well, according to my video, it's basically one of those like generic, trucks. So it's like
Yeah,
a
Chuck-kun.
big ass truck.
With
Big
It's
brilliant
Chuck-kun.
rigs.
techniques, engines
It's
equipped with
big
amazing
rigs.
electromechanics to pass through
Driving
solid
backwards,
objects so as not to
smacking
interrupt
your
the
belly
It's
flow
around
of
the way.
isekai
experience.
time.
Nothing stands in your way.
Duck around the fucking
Big
trucks.
rigs. We're spinning tires with
Yeah.
one
Anyway, she gets hit by a truck. She dies, I guess, and of course, he's sad about that, and Dustin runs away
And
like
then she gets
like a
teleported into a magical world
like
where she becomes like a level 100
you
demigod and
don't. Yeah, that's
defeats
the
all
strangest
the
thing. They don't explain this at all. Basically, this fucking guy who works at a cat heaven. Apparently in this version it's a vet hospital, not a goddamn pet store. But okay, they go to the hospital. You see this guy who looks like a fucking. He look. You know what? He kind of looks like he kind of a bootleg Buddy in a sense.
Yeah, he kind of looks like a mix between Buddy and Jimmy O. James.
I'm assuming, yeah, but I'm assuming that he's basically Lou in this story. He didn't say his name, but he's the only male character that was named in the books that was there. So I'm like, I guess this is Lou. So they talk to Lou, and apparently he's just like, "Oh, I could probably help you out if you're ready to pay the price." And I'm just like, "What's the price?" And like, obviously we know what the price is, but it's like, how much does it
Like,
cost?
yeah, okay, let me just grab my wallet. It's like, oh no, you don't pay money here. And it's just like the fucking devil from
Yeah,
Rick and Morty. It's like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
one
He
doesn't
turned you
pay you.
stupid. Here you go. Yeah, it's like, here we go, here's the fix. It's like, yeah, and I love that episode too because it got to a point where the devil almost wanted to kill himself.
Yeah, because Rick was such a fucking
Here,
asshole.
just bring your shit over here. I'll fix it. Yeah,
Hey,
that's
did
what
you
I
buy
thought. This
cursed
thing was
items
gonna make
here
you
in my
retarded.
store and I removed the curses?
Yeah, yeah, that's what I thought. This fucking thing was to make you retarded. Rick, I don't think you could say that. What? I'm just saying that if you watch this, you would actually turn fucking retarded. Yeah, but I think that's a thing. I don't think the senses or whatever. Oh, that's retarded.
Yeah, but I don't think I think it's more of like an empowering thing, you know?
So that's fucking retarded.
Retarded.
Yeah, but no, he's right. But anyways, he's like, it makes you stupider. But okay, it make me brain smart. Anyways, yeah, I love that. You know what's funny about the devil in that? It's basically Mr. Dark from that story. Like, are you familiar with the something wicked this way comes?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that devil character is basically Mr. Dark from that story because that's what he does. He basically does this thing where it's like, hey, I'll give you whatever you want, but there's a catch to that, right?
Yeah, that actually makes a lot more sense given the
Like,
title of the
hey,
episode is
I'll make
called
you
Something
beautiful.
Wicked
Like,
This Way
and it's
Comes.
like the price is basically you work like his fare, right? His traveling circus or whatever. And he's just like this one character is like, oh, I'll make you young and beautiful again, but you'll no longer see, so you can't see yourself anymore. And there was one case where he was trying to tempt the other guy, where he's just like, I'll make you young. Oh, if you don't, and I'll make you 20 years young. Oh yeah, no, all right. How about 21, 22? 23. I'm making it older and older. Kind of like trying to tempt him to make him sell out the kids, what he doesn't do, because he knows if he were to agree with us, he would just not remember them, right? So it's just like, I get it, right? But great movie, by the way. Great book. One of those interesting, weird things that Disney did back in the day in the dark ages of what they call them. But yeah, by the way, yeah, Disney made that that movie.
You know what else they made? You know what else they made?
Yeah,
Have you ever heard of a movie called Tourist Trap?
it sounds familiar. I can't put my finger on that though.
I think it was like a slasher film that Disney produced.
Hi ho, Grim here. I just want to make a quick correction with my partner in crime because he's a bit dumb in the head. He's confusing a certain movie. What he's talking about here, I think it's Tourist Trap from 1979, this picture here. But Disney did not do this. Disney did another movie in 1988 called Tourist Trap that looked like this. So technically, yes, they did do something a Tourist Trap, but long story short, there's two tourist traps, and this guy thought that Disney made a horror movie.
Well, that's retarded.
This was the weird era where Michael Eisner was just like, yeah, we need more edgy stuff because the teens don't want us anymore. I'm just like, okay, well, there's a point where you went too extreme, buddy. But anyways, yeah. But then the 90s Renaissance happened, and that's when I grew up. So it's just like, yeah. Then Disney became the monster that it is now. But anyways, yeah. So she basically fucking leveled up to become a fucking demigod. And at first it's like
isekai fantasy world,
yeah,
killing
yeah,
all
like,
the
she's
killing
alive.
the demon.
It's like I'm so happy, and the cat just stares at blankly, just like I think something's wrong with her. It's just like nah, she acts like a normal cat. Cats are supposed to be like that. Right? But then she fucking runs, goes to Dustin, right? And fucking does her magical powers, freaks him out, and then finds out that not only does she turn into a monster, but she fucking talks. Like, that's something that wasn't from the original book, is that this motherfucker talks. It's like, great, okay, cool. Now we have a talking cat. We got Salem the cat. Great.
Salem.
What? There's another black cat that talks, so it's like, why not?
And I also like that, Dustin is basically on a lot of people's shit list.
No, he's a little shit. He's the Bart Simpson of this world, so of course he just fucking causes mischief, whether he likes it or not.
I guess that would make Marty the fucking Nelson Muntz.
Yeah. By the way, his animations as being a scary cat. Like, wow. Like it's weird how he hasn't been included for a while, and yet he's been getting animations. It's just like, why? If you're not going to put him in the story, fucking why bother giving him stuff? Well, you should give it to Susie. I'm still angry about that. I will say that I'm happy that they at least gave something to Slappy and Curly. So, yeah, I mean, I wish there were other characters, but at least there was not like the fucking Mortman and, Dustin. It's the fucking generic characters. It's like, give us interesting ones.
Meanwhile, Zeke is just hiding in a corner of dust.
Yeah. Fucking who's that? I don't know. Better than goddamn what's his face from the Be Afraid book. I don't even remember his name. That's how bad he is. Like that's how very generic he is.
I remember him.
Yeah,
his name is Connor.
Oh fuck you, Connor. Fuck me. Fuck that kid.
It's almost kind of like that Coco scenario. Like forget somebody, like die.
Yeah, or that character from Futurama who just is the joke is that he keep forgetting his name despite it being easy. Like it's Frank. Yeah. But anyways, it's just like yeah, so she's a monster form and everything like that. Goes after fucking Mickey, and it's like, why did you let her die? Why did you let me die? It's just like fucking hell, it's not his responsibility. I love how he's like, remember the good times? Remember when we used to eat fish bones and milk? And I'm just like, okay, so you gave her fucking bones, not food, and then you gave her milk, right, which is the cats are lactose intolerant. So I was like, that's fucking fantastic. So like,
hey, wait, did you say that they both ate fish bones?
So yeah, they're like imagining
Mickey just on like fucking hands and knees eating bones along with Bella here.
That's what he said. It's like, remember the time we used to eat fish bones and drink milk? Like fucking hell. I know this kid. I know he's a kid, but fuck me. Anyways,
damn, he loves his cat way too damn much.
I know, and then the cat doesn't like him back apparently, or for like. anyways,
Because he's
but
fucking weird. Who goes on their hands and knees and touch
yeah,
phones?
she has a fucking tantrum, a fucking crisis, and they go ahead and take a squirt gun and fucking squirt her because she's a cat. She's like, no, I hate water, all that. And I guess she get reverted back to her little kitty form, and then all of a sudden, out of fucking nowhere, and I'm assuming this is explained a little bit from the book that kind of had I guess, a Grim Reaper character, but still, I want to point this out. For some fucking reason, Greek mythology is being brought into this, where fucking the ferryman himself, Charon, is coming in, being like, "I'm bringing her back to the dead." I'm like, where the fuck did you come from? Why are you
Okay,
even here?
actually, now I'm actually reminded of this Robot Chicken where like this guy dies and like Sharon like appears in and he was like payment to cross the river Styx, and he like pulls out a fucking card and is like, no, a coin, a gold coin. What am I gonna do with a coin? He's
Car.
like, what are you gonna do with a gold coin? And then he was like, okay, fine, get in.
Yeah. Fun fact about him, even gods have to pay the ferryman, so they have to fucking like you either pay the ferryman to take you down the river of Styx, or you're gonna walk, or you're gonna fucking swim your ass down there, and it's gonna take you a long ass
Yeah,
time.
but
So
the problem is, what does Sharon even do with those gold coins? Like, what's he
I
gonna
don't
buy
know.
them? What's he gonna buy? What's the
I don't
purpose?
know. He's doing it for something. He's trying to pay back his freedom, I guess.
Payback is what?
Pay back his freedom. So he's stuck as the ferryman, right? He's gonna try to take himself out.
I
I
thought
don't
that
know.
was just like a capitalistic venture he was going on.
Look, this was made back in the old times in Egypt to try to explain what the whole, like, how, like, the explanation of going to hell, and they like, why you have to put, like, why do you have to put gold coin to the dead guy? It's just like, well, pay the ferryman. It's like, why do you pay the ferryman? It's like stupid shit like that to do their own, like, traditions. But
No, that's like a legitimate question. Like, what is he spending that money on?
he has his, I'm sure he has his reasons. He has his addiction. He has to go gachapon, right? Let's go
He
gambling.
has a gambling
Ah,
addiction,
fuck.
and every gold coin is another trip to the slots.
Oh boy, I gotta use my phone to play on. I want to play on like fuck. What's it? Genshin Impact. Damn!
Oh God!
Time to get my waifu. Fuck. Ah,
Or
well,
any
another
other
day down.
or any other one of those fucking gotcha games, like Zenless
Yeah.
Zone Zero is like, oh, give me Bernice.
Fuck. Let's go gambling. Ah, dang it. I love the
Like,
gotcha.
oh, I got the sexy wolf butler. Okay, that works.
Yeah. I'll give you this waifu. Get it? Pop in. Okay, I'll give you this body pillow. Finally. All for me. By the
You
way,
know
I
what's
love
really
this.
funny?
They did it. They had to
Oh,
add him in his character because of like the item from Adams and all that stuff. But I'm
yeah.
pretty sure he probably thought of the story. He probably brought the item in there, and then he realized, oh wait, they already have a character item like that. But to his credit, that particular ferryman item was only exclusive way back in 2022 when the game finally came back for the Easter Egg Monster from Mars update, where you had to win it as a contest. Now, for me, I didn't enter the contest, but what I did was I kind of I begged on my knees, going, "Please give me it." And he credited me it, and I'm just like, "Yes, I got it for free." So I got to show people like this is what it looked like. So I'm like, I'm happy. But yeah, so technically speaking, that yes, there was another ferryman up character like item, but technically speaking, not everyone got it. So it's like, here's your consolation prize. Here's another one. So yeah, so we got a ferryman character, which is cool. And then it ends where it's just like, oh, he said no. He told the ferryman, "Fuck off." And he's just like, "You do know that she's a monster, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, but I said I paid the price, and I'm going to pay the price, right?" Reminds me of that
Damn.
scene from Pet Sematary. It's like, you know what they say, dead is better. Dead is better. But anyways, then we go to Mickey's story, which is talking about Bella, like him and Bella living their life now. It's just like, oh yeah, I forgot the fact you could talk. This is gonna be weird.
And then
And
she
then she
brings like a whole bunch of fucking like demon cats or some
fucking
shit.
zip zooms. Yeah, she acts like a fucking cat, of course. Like she's acting like a troublemaker. And then he comments is like, "I can't believe you act like a fucking '90s." It's like a '90s character. And I'm just like, fucking hell. Are you talking like it's like a Sonic the Hedgehog character? Yeah, no, these is happening. Zip zooms.
Whoa. Remember, kids, if someone touches you in a place that you don't like,
That's no good.
That's no good.
I love that Steve Urkel era of Sonic.
Oh, Steve Urkel. I fucking love that guy.
That character, yeah, he was the guy who voiced Sonic in those the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog stories, which is fun.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't
that
know
was
that.
him.
Oh, that's so cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, now you know. The more you
Way
know,
past cool.
the more you know. Dun 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 dun. Yeah, but it is interesting though with the dialogue in this is pretty fucking stupid. It's just like he sprays him when she turns into a cat. He's like, "Not cool, dude. Not cool." It's like she's talking to him like a fucking like not a child, but it's like a fucking like, "Hey man, what the fuck? I thought we were having fun here." Right? But
It's
then
like,
and then he's
bruh.
like, and then she has a heart
Oh,
to heart with him and kind of gives the fuck. I laughed when I saw this. They gave the fucking cat eyes, the fucking meme, like it's basically like Shrek 2, when
oh yeah, Puss in Boots.
Puss in Boots does the cat eyes. It's like, oh no, and then he's just doing a sad face. Like, what did you do now, Boogies? It's like she does the same face, right? And it's just like
I
she
like
misses
when
her owner, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I can see why, right? But yeah, it's
I
cute.
kind of like the. I kind of like when Mickey sprays water at her to stop her from like
Yeah,
being
she does this
all
weird
weird
swiping.
and shit. It kind of reminds me of that one scene in Emperor's New Groove where like Cusco's dancing and he bumps into this old guy's like, "You
No
threw off
touchy.
my groove."
Yeah, I'm sorry, but you've invented the Emperor's Groove.
You threw off the Emperor's groove.
Sorry. Yeah, I love that. But yeah, like she does this stupid swipe. It's just like big cat mode. Just like, no, stop spraying me with the gun, with the squirt gun.
Stop spraying me with the water. I'm getting wet.
Skate's wet. It sounds like platypus all of a sudden, snagglepuss all of a sudden. Stop!
Oh, you're getting me all wet. Stop
Oh,
it. I'm
Stasis, stay
soaking
wet.
in.
Exit,
Exit
stage
stage
wet.
right.
Stop it, Mickey. That sucks.
Stop it, Mickey. You're getting me all
Stop.
wet and stuff.
Mickey Mouse.
Cut it
Like,
out already.
yeah, I love it. You know what? I'm sure Stein called him Mickey because he thought it was a cat, and it was just like, oh yeah, Mickey Mouse. But anyways,
I'm getting you all wet.
oh, you're all wet, Mickey. No, you Bella, you fucking wet. Yeah, I stopped the Mickey
You're
joke.
messing up
So.
my fur. Stop it already.
Stop. But yeah, what's funny about that whole thing though is with Bella, it's just like, yeah, we finally got an animation with her with this as her as a normal cat, and she does the yawn and it's like a monster form, a monster face. It's just like okay, but goddamn, she's a big fucking cat. Like I thought. You got Mr. Muffins, who's the only cat NPC around, and it's like, fuck, she's
Right?
huge compared to him. Like she's supposed to be a kitten, but fuck me. Like, did she grow because of the whole monster thing? I guess so, but you know,
I guess she kind of like sold one of her 9 lives to the devil to be a monster cat.
yeah, she looks weird as a cat though. Like the monster cat, sure, I can understand that, but her as a normal cat, it's just like just like I don't know, I don't like it. Somebody doesn't know how to animate cats. I'm not blaming who, I'm just saying. But again, we didn't get Bella as a character, so Mickey was.
Yeah,
By the way,
I'd rather have Bella as a character, honestly.
yeah,
I would have more fun with Bella as a character, not
I
Mickey.
love the items they brought back from the game. Like they actually, like I pinpointed exactly where items were coming from, like I did in the videos. But one thing that came out of it was the second end prize, which is the wall in question.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
for some reason, that was sketched. Like it doesn't look like it's 3D. It looked like somebody fucking drew quickly and then sketched it with like fucking crayon, or not crayon, but like fucking pencil marker, like pencil crayon. And it's like, there you go, done. It's just like, what the fuck am I looking at?
Oh dang.
It's not bad. It's just like I know what it was based off of. It was a 3D model, but then they kind of just did that, and it's just like weird faces on it. It's like okay, good enough. It's like okay, cool. And what's weird about his quest, his animation, by the way, is his quest line. And I don't know if it's broken now or if it's still, you can still play this, but when the game update was originally on, when he was going to go ahead and do the whole spray Bella thing, they asked for Lucy to do it, not him, despite the fact that he has an animation to do that as well. You notice that?
Yeah, I did notice I did notice that weird change. I think I had like a screenshot of it somewhere in
Yeah, it's very
Jingle Bell
weird.
Plus.
I will say though, it's interesting that his scene was the Mickey's house. Like they basically turned Mickey's house into a scene, and then the actual scene in question is Bella's like castle, which, by the
Yeah,
way, that's Farron's house from Snoopy. So there you go. We got Elvis's from her Oasis house. We got Farron from Snoopy's house. Um, we didn't get
we get
anything from Kitty
continuity.
for Kitty's house, but we did get some stuff from Adams, right? So it's like it just, you know, I can't wait for
I
the
think
next
what kind of
episode to be
annoyed me
like,
about
oh
the
boy.
story
Hmm?
I think what kind of annoyed me about the story is that Bella's going around like blaming everyone for her death. Meanwhile, she like pretending like she wasn't the one who just fucking raced outside and get herself
Yeah,
fucking
you
piece
were
of
the
pie.
dumb bitch. It's like, well, first of all, you're the dumb bitch who went outside in the first place. I know you were a kid and all. I understand that, but it's not like my fault to be like, hey, hey, big rig, come in and fucking run her over. It's not like I try to
and,
bring you back to life.
like, and sorry that fucking Mickey isn't 100% fucking cat-like with the same reflexes to grab your
You
goofy
sorry ass.
ass and not
Yeah.
get run over.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm trying to think if there's anything else to talk about for this update, but I don't think there. I think we talked basically about almost everything this update had to offer for the most part. All in
I
all,
will say that my favorite decoration for this event was that was completely thrown. That was like completely left field, but I really like how it looks and fucking dope. I like it.
which one was that?
The ice golem.
Oh yeah, that's an Adams thing.
Yeah, you
Of
told me
course it
about that.
was. But yeah, I love that they this giant ass golem. It's like, why is he here? I don't know. It's Christmassy, so there you go. Okay, cool. By the way, I did talk to the team. They wanted to make this more Christmassy, like giving us actually snow and all that stuff. But then again, because small team and everything like that, we didn't get anything. But because of it, it made me salty as fuck. To be like, there's no snow on the houses. There's no snow on the fucking ground. This is bullshit.
Yeah,
You know, fuck me. That's not Christmas update. It tries to
this
be, but
don't
not
feel like
really.
Christmas.
Oh yeah, and then the fucking like here's the other thing too I've noticed is when it comes to the actual raw item suppliers, like this one was the Santa bag, so it's kind of slashed. It's cool. Like don't get me wrong, one item of them is cool, but what the fuck am I gonna do with 5 or 6 of them? I don't know. The other guy, at least they did items that made sense to have multiples of. This one's just like, what the fuck am I doing with multiples of the fucking like okay, like watchtowers. All right, fine, I could give you that one maybe. But the fuck am I gonna do? Okay, sandcastle's fine, but the fucking Santa bags, like that's very exclusive to like one particular area. What the fuck am I gonna do with like 5, 6 of them?
Yeah, the sand officers are kind of the same way too because they're
Yeah,
also
it works for like
particularly
one or two of them, but it's
mode.
just like yeah, it's just like unlike say the ones from the Fear Circus, like that one you can make multiples of that. That makes sense. The
Yeah, that's like
Valentine's
your
Day
little
one.
Horrorland area ish.
Yeah, the Wolf's Bane actually made sense too. You can actually make something with that, right? But the other ones are starting to be kind of like these big fucking bulky items. I get it; it makes sense, but it's like you can only have one of those. Having multiples of them, they don't make fucking sense, and then it makes it useless for the other characters to do other items because it's like, why even bother? But yeah, anyways, I think that's basically it. There's not much else to talk about for this, right?
Actually, there is one more thing I want to bring up. I
Okay.
will say that they finally did something that really that like for the longest while this one thing has peeved me off so much, but they finally stopped doing that with this update, and that's like they allowed the characters to keep their animation things, right? Because during the last ones, like not Circus Sphere, but um, the hairiest Valentine, the
Yeah,
Ghost
yeah.
Beach, shit like that. They lost all of their fucking animations and stuff, and their stuff like that. But with this one, they actually got to keep that shit, and that makes me a lot more happier because now, if I want,
Whoa, you got cut off there for a second, but yeah.
it wasn't just I hate when it fucking does that. Anyway, they got to keep their animations, and I wish they continue to keep doing that, and not just do the same fucking horse shit that they've been doing with
Holy
the
shit, you're
last
right.
2 updates.
Holy fuck, you're right. I have to make a video about that now. Fuck, I didn't even know that. I thought they just disappeared, but no. Fuck me. Wow,
No, I
okay.
thought so too. It's like,
Kudos to
oh, it's gonna
you,
be the same
Devs.
thing again, and then like when I look to check on
Especially,
Doctor Blue, right? He
it's
still has his fucking ladder thing going on with the cat bell. I'm like,
yeah.
oh,
We don't have
okay, I like this.
Yeah, we don't have anything for the other items. Maybe hopefully they can patch that in there for the next update. Maybe fingers crossed. I don't know, but yeah, kudos. Thank you for adding that in there, or keeping that as the end of the update instead of it disappearing. Because fuck
Yeah, because that always
me,
pissed me
I
off.
hate the fact, especially for this update where he only had one fucking deal. The other things, no, fuck you. You gotta pay full price. So I'm sure I was very happy about that. So, anyways. I don't know what
No, if
happened
only they
there.
did that with the other fucking animations
Merry
too.
fucking Christmas.
Merry fucking Christmas.
Merry fucking Christmas.
Anyway, now I think that's everything.
All right, let's take a breather, let's cool down, and then we get back to talk about my update then. Let's do that then.
Yeah,
All right, we're back. So I guess it's time for my video, huh? So
you're a little fan of the show.
yeah, so where we last left off, uh, the teaser I did was a clip from Futurama. I believe, I'm not sure what this episode was from exactly, but I know they were at uh a love a love making factory. Not a love making. They were making like
Making
little heart
factory.
shapes, right? Yeah, I know. But anyways, they did these lovey bears or like these. Is it lovey bears? Lovey dovey bears or something like that, right? And they were joking about how they made them. It's like these little cute creatures, and it's just like it's stuff them in the bear hospital. But anyways, I'm sure you probably figured out what it was. I want to talk about Please Don't Feed the Bears. Yep, it's the Cuddle Bear episode, the Care Bear knockoffs. The thing I wanted in the game and been teased about for so fucking long. Let's see. I mentioned them in the internet one. in What's Your Face's quest line. I'm trying to remember what her name is. I can't think of the life of me. Rachel. I think that's her
Yeah,
name. And I also mentioned it in the redubbed quest line for Beast from the East. You look like a bootleg Cuddle Bear. Like, yeah. Anyways, but anyway, so the thing with Please Don't Feed the Bears is that this update is actually not. As of late, they seem like they've been doing these like not naming them based off the book, but instead naming them after something. So I did the same thing here, and I'm playing with their strengths. In this case, is puns. So the update is called "Love is in the Bear."
Ah,
No, you don't have to laugh. You don't have to humor me. I know my jokes. Anyways, the character that's going to be added in this game is Kira the Cuddle Bear, who is the only Cuddle Bear that was named in this update. And the thing is, I have an idea what I want to have her look like. I'll explain this in a minute, but I in the book, it's described as she being just a normal, like she's just a random employee that just happened to be named Kira. You know what I mean? Like she's just a random character. He's like, this is there. But in this version, I wanted to have her be more of the mama bear figure, if that makes sense. Kind of like a weird kind of mascot kind of character.
and not to be confused with the mama bear from Dark Descendant.
No, not like that, but kind of has the same elf vibes to her. She doesn't act like her, but she has that weird costume. Let's put it that way. Like, well, I mean, I don't know. Depending on how a
Sorry,
vampire
I'm
feels
not
like
just.
that day.
Sorry, I meant to say Dark Deception.
Yeah. We all know what you mean. The Pac-Man game. Yeah, so she's gonna be kind of like that. I'll explain my whole purpose of her and what her deal is a bit. Um, the house she comes in is gonna be called Kira's Daycare. This is gonna look like a typical kind of like a almost like you ever see those like daycares themed in the park kind of thing. I feel like that's kind of like
Um,
a style of sort. It's
I
something.
don't really. I don't remember any when I was growing up. No.
No, all right. Well, I mean, basically this. Imagine a daycare, but like teddy bear themed, like fucking big mouth, a big big cuddle bear mouth coming into the entrance or whatnot. To make it fun. It's fun for kids, but it's been abandoned for a little bit, so it's just like, ooh, it looks kind of creepy. It's kind of creepy. Anyways, the the thing is with this theme is that like Cuddle Bear's land is explained as being like a Care Bear knockoff of sorts, right? But this version is going to be more like imagine. I guess the only real life version of this I can think of is like there is you know how there's a Sesame Street theme park. I think it's called Sesame Place.
I did not know that existed.
Well, now you do. It exists apparently, but yeah, it's a water park of all things. But
I
anyways,
was kind of like leaning on like more McDonald plan type shit.
yeah, that's I think a better idea. It's like McDonald Land, but like with Care Bear themed elements, if that makes sense, right? So it's
Yeah,
Babyland.
more cuddle
Let's
bears and
imagine
less
it's
fast food
Babyland.
clowns.
Yeah, it's something that, like for babies,
Yeah,
but the
more
thing
cuddle
is,
bears and more cuddle bears and less fast food clowns and lawsuits from Puff and stuff.
1, 2, tie your shoes. 3, 4, pick up the clothes. I just remember that meme. 9, 10, tell over the kids. fucking, fucking Maggie.
Something, something almost like something that Coco Melon would fucking throw up.
Oh God, yes, that's exactly the vibes I'm looking for. The cringy, the better. We're all about selling, mind you. It's all about the merchandising. The
It's all
crafting in
about the
question
memes.
is the Cuddles gift shop, right?
Right.
The event currency is Cuddle Bear land tickets, so it's just like kind of like Horrorland tickets, but it's like themed to Cuddle Bear. So
Right.
now,
Kind of something similar to like Return to Horrorland.
yeah, exactly. Now the thing is, or you could think of like the Horrorland Carnival. They had a similar thing as well, but it's like a face instead of actual words. But anything works for that case. Now, the raw item is going to be interesting because this is actually taking an item that is actually in the game but has never been re-released. It's like been in the beta, and that's honey. And there's a reason for that. And I know there is another update that could have been better for honey. I understand there's one particular update I understand, but there could be something else we could do with honey. But for this purpose, it's honey. And the item that it comes, the raw crafting,
Hashtag bring back the honey.
huh?
Hashtag bring back the honey.
Exactly. So in fact, the supplier you get for this update is bringing back this item in particular, and that's the beehive tree or the honey or the beehive tree, the honey tree.
The honey
Basically,
tree.
this item used to drop this stuff, so it's like this is it's kind of like how the Horrorland Carnival brought back the apple trees. This is the same thing but for the honey stuff. So that's makes your life easier. You don't have to drop
Yeah.
honey this time around. So just note
And
that
it
that's.
should be spelled. And it should be spelled HUNNY as like a nod to like Winnie the Pooh.
Oh my God! You know what? Yeah, you're gonna do that. It's like,
Considering that it's public domain now.
the honey. Oh, you know what?
It's
You could make
public
the
domain
Cuddle Bear
now, so
boy like
technically
that.
you're legally allowed to do that.
Yeah, yeah, that is true. I don't think you have to make it look like Disney's though. You can make it similar to it, but Anyways, I guess to do the well, because I talked about supplier stuff, I'll also talk about the promenade supplier being the Cuddle Bear fountain. I assume use your imagination for this. This is a Cuddle Bear themed fountain that's been dried up for a while, but it's dropping little honeys every now and then. I'm assuming it's something. It's something that
I
fits
feel
for
like
a
it
baby
would be like
theme park.
okay, so I would feel like it would like most likely be like a sort of quote unquote abandoned statue. Mainly
Exactly, like it
because
fell
of
apart,
the beehive that's like accumulated over the years
or
and
tumbled,
there's like
yeah,
bees swarming everywhere.
or somebody fucking tumble it down or something like that. Like you've seen the people vandalized something. Yeah.
No, I like the bee angle because it's kind of like a reference to like how many like people would stay away from a certain area or a thing because it's just riddled with bees.
Oh, yeah, I get your picture. So kind of like what happened with
Yeah.
Mr. Burns's bee-shaped emporium that he got turned into like a beehive thing. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
But instead
Or
of
like in
bees,
the
it's
videos
wasps.
where you see like cars just
Those even
pull to the
worse.
bridge
It's
with
not even
fucking
bees; they're
bees.
wasps in this one.
Well, it will still be the same shit in this game, so
Yeah, exactly. But anyways, so I guess the craftings. Let's go. I guess let's talk about that, right? So
yeah.
first section is called the sweet snacks, and first item we craft is honey tea. So that's taking the honey as well as sports drink, and it's a
It's,
bear-shaped
sorry,
sippy
did you
cup.
say honey tea?
Yeah, honey tea.
Oh, okay. I was actually okay. I did want to make this joke, but I was actually thinking of like having the sports drink, like keep that aspect, right? But actually call it honey dew and spell it similar to like Mountain Dew and make it
Yeah,
look
you
like a
could do.
bottle of Mountain Dew
Yeah, you could do that as well. I mean, you could do that instead because
and have
originally it
it
was like a
abbreviated
bear-shaped
and have
sippy
the
cup.
honey
So
part like abbreviated to HNY.
yeah, we could do that instead. I mean, after all, when I was listening into the last episode, and you were talking about all this stuff, and you decided to change it in the like near the end. So it's like this is the same thing here. So we're just kind of spitballing, and the pictures you see is the final product, unless you're listening.
Yeah,
So yeah, so we got the honeydew, I
yeah.
guess. Uh,
I love that already because I
yeah,
actually use that concept for like another idea of mine for based on like insect wrestling,
yeah. So
and honeydew would be like the thing they would drink as like a sports drink.
yeah, so we got the honeydew. And I guess this makes sense because the next one coming up is the Cuddle Burger, which is using the roaches to go and the honey. It's a burger looking like a bear, or it's something along those lines. So I guess you could be creative with that.
I can make it look like one of those jelly bears from Cookie Run.
Yeah, that could work too. And then I guess the honeydew, Cuddle Bear burger, and then the honey makes Cuddle Meal, which I'm assuming you can make it either having those two items combined, or you can make it like a Happy Meal of sorts.
Yeah, I could do
Perhaps.
that. Yeah,
Yeah, maybe. I mean, that makes sense. So that's that section of items. Then we got the next one, which is merchandising. So merchandising, I love that. So first part is bear stickers. So this is using or I guess bear stickers makes sense or works or something. We can workshop this, but it's just gonna use one of the books as well as the honey, and it's a sticker sheet of cuddle bears. So it's kind of like those typical kind of baby stickers type thing. You know what I mean, like crafts.
yeah, yeah.
So kind of like that. Then we have
I have an idea of how to make the stickers, but yeah, go on.
okay. So the second item is the color balloons, and that's using the honey and the blobs, and it's basically color bear shaped balloons. So I'm assuming kind of like how Mickey Mouse has those iconic ears type thing, but I'm sure it's like a face or something along those
Ah,
lines.
fuck, toe.
Huh?
Sorry, I stubbed my toe on the fucking desk.
Oh,
Ah.
sorry. Yeah, I hate when that happens. Anyways, so that's self-explanatory for that. So then you take the bear stickers, the cuddle balloons, and then the honey to make a cuddle bear plush, which just explains itself what it is, right?
I would probably just call it like a Kira plush.
Oh yeah, Kira plush is that's good too. But there's a I was gonna say for my final grand prize, I'll
I know
explain.
there are other characters, but you know, Kira stands out as
Yeah,
like
yeah,
the
yeah. I
most
understand. We can make
fucking
it look like we could call it the Cuddle Bear plush, and it can make it look like Kira, right? An actual cutie Kira, like you would want to have this, not like how abandoned what a board. You know what I mean, right? So
market it at we'll market it at like Willow and fucking Meaning.
yeah, it's something like that. Yeah,
Or
that's
maybe
something we could do. We can make our own. We can make our own Cuddle Bear bootleg and fucking sell it on makeshift. What are they gonna
we
do?
can
They
make
didn't
our
make that
own
into a thing. We can make our own. We can call it the Snuggle Buddies or something like that. Same
cuddle
thing.
friend.
Yeah, Snuggle Friends. Why not? And then
Cuddle
we just
friends.
sell it on. We'll just make a makeshift a series, and hopefully we get 250 people to sign up. Anyways, so that's the merchandise section. The scene in question is the actual what it is. It's basically going to be so it's actually going to be the Cuddle Bear Cave, or actually it's going to be the Cuddle Bear Care, which is basically just the Kira's area, right? Because I
Right.
figure I was going to take the inspiration from what happened from the last update, which is how they turned Mickey Mouse's house into a scene, and then they had their own like kind of like thing of that nature. But
Muska, Mickey Mouse.
oh
Sorry, I
no,
just had to get
yes.
that off my
Yeah,
chest.
so
Anyway, go on.
basically the Color Bear Care would be basically Kira's house, right, as a scene. And I was thinking that the actual final grand prize you'd get is the cave, and quote unquote, the employees entrance only type of thing. The mysterious door, the cave. Ooh, spooky. But yeah,
I feel like one of the decorations you could add for the event would be something like the Cuddle Bear picnic or something.
yeah, I could do that too. I mean, we can add that as a prize or whatnot. But anyways, so the scene, the characters that come out of it is going to be a cuddle boy and girl, right? So I'm assuming they're just like a little. I'm assuming what Care Bears, generic Care Bears would look like. You could make it fun. We could make it fun to be like a grumpy version, and then like a cutesy version.
I was kind of like leaning to the idea to base them on the Share Bears from Fairly Odd Parents.
That could work too. I mean, whatever. I mean, I like this to be adorably fucking cute. Like, just like, sickening. Like, it's for
Yeah,
babies, right?
sickeningly sweet.
I'm kind of reminded too. I can imagine it being a grumpy ass fucking like a cuddle bear, and to be like fucking grumpy. It's like I hate, I hate
Now I'm
this.
just reminded of this one. Now I'm just reminded of this one scene in Robot Chicken
Yeah,
where
I
like
was about to
I
bring that
forgot
up.
what
It's just
one
like
of the
I hate
characters'
what.
names, but he
It's like,
like
all right, what do you do? No, serious. What the fuck do you do? I hate shoveling dog shit. See, we found a good work for you.
anyway, the scene I was thinking of in Robot Chicken, there was like this one scene where I forgot which one of the writers or someone they die, and they come back as like a Care Bear, and they
Oh
try to cheer up like
yes,
a bunch of campers, and one of them was like Irish, and his name was Shamrock Bear, and like the guy just pushes Shamrock Bear into the
I
fire,
remember that.
and they
Yeah,
all look at him, and he tries to defend his actions like.
What? His name was Shamrock Bear. He was obviously Irish and therefore drunk. Am I right or am I?
I remember that. Yeah, yeah. Now I remember that one. I thought you were talking about Smurfs for some reason. I'm sorry.
Oh, why the fuck would I mention Smurfs when I could be
Oh, because
making
I
Care
meant
Bear?
grumpy. Anyways, so yeah, so basically, well, the main grand prize, Kira would be a part of the cave with the Cuddle Bear boy and girl, and
Yeah.
Kira's old scare animation would be kind of like in the Susie aspect, where she's like not really threatening in the sense, but people are still like such fucking babies that they just run away from her. They get
Oh,
scared
because
for
she's
no
just too
reason.
sickeningly sweet.
Yeah, they get scared for anybody for some reason. So it's like, okay, sure. So yeah, like give me a
I bet
hug.
she's
Oh, get away
I,
from the creepy bear thing.
I bet like the only reason why she's scary is because she too has a bunch of holly jolly dust, right, buddy?
Yeah, yeah. The Holly Jolly just comes strike again. She's covering that shit. Not only that,
I
but
like how we I like how
she.
we try to move away from Susie Snowflake, and yet we just keep dragging her back into hell.
I know, like I'm sorry, Susie. You need to bring this character. We need to make her a Susie of ours. Come on,
We need a mil-
come
we
on.
need a milk views.
I need to milk. You're like, oh boy, more milk. Like, it's like she's all squeezed dry like the cow, and she's like, time for some milking, buddy.
It's jolly time.
Yeah, more of that. For
Yeah.
some reason, I also am thinking of you remember, I'm sure you probably you know where I'm going with this, but you remember the Haunting Hour?
Yes.
There's an episode called Yellow.
Oh, Big Yellow. I agree.
Yeah, I love that guy. But I can imagine
The
Kira
episode was
having that
actually
kind of
called
vibe and
Mascot.
energy in the sense
The
that
episode was actually called Mascot.
Mask, yeah, but they changed it to yellow. But anyways, I can
They changed
imagine
the
that she
best.
has that kind of energy where she kind of looks like kind of weird, but the idea of it, like as far as what she is, I'll explain more what she is exactly, but I won't spoil too much right now. But it'll be curious to see how you design her. But Yeah, I'm curious. Anyways, so the scene drop is the honey crackers. So these are the bear-shaped cracker cookies that are, it's like, you know, like animal crackers, right? So I'm sure it's like something called bear-shaped in a sense, but these are the infamous cookies, or the crackers in question, right? That supposedly turn you into a Cuddle Bear yourself, right?
Yeah.
Supposedly. But anyways,
Like you don't think it works.
well, you'll see. You'll see. Anyways, the final crafting item, you take the meal, you take the plushie, and the honey crackers to make something called the Lovely Admirer. And it is a Cuddle Bear that looks like Sarah. Now, am I talking about Sarah Quinn? No.
No.
I am talking about Sarah from the book in this particular case of Please Don't Feed the Bears, the main character. You might be wondering why. You'll see in a soon enough when I talk about the story, which is going to come up right now. I think so. Let me see. Yeah, the story's coming up right now. Because I'll explain. As far as
get to see who has the cool animations.
Yeah, the animations in question, I didn't think much of it. Namely, the only thing I can think of at the top of my head at the moment was Slappy, with him being like something called hiding, which I imagine. Do you know, during the Egg Monsters from Mars, how there was like they took those bunny plushies and they fucking mangled them to death and kind of make a big pile of them? I imagine something like that with the bears that they add into the game and kind of mangled them up and kind of like whatever. And he's basically kind of like popping his head out every now and then and kind of hiding back, like he's like hiding from fucking Mary Sue or something. Or Mary Ellen, sorry. Mary Sue. Mary Ellen, yeah, no.
So
Yeah.
now we're adding Star Trek into this whole spiel.
Yeah, so anyways, so the normal task they would get for the honey would be writing Valentine's cards, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all I got for now. I'll talk more about her, our main character's quest lines after when we get to her story. But anyways, we start off with Drool starting this off. So we get a good boy Drool, the one that for some reason people say sounds like Bobcat. Hi there, it's me, your buddy Drool. Right. So, anyways, he's like, you might be wondering why he's telling the story. This was the idea inspired by the fact that they used Eric Appleby for the Hall of Horror. So I thought, well, because this is a short story, why not have Drool introduced this time? And the excuse I'm giving is why Curly's not involved is because he injured himself. He fractured his funny bone.
And now he's all serious. I
He's
can just
all
imagine
serious and depressed.
Curly sitting in like a dark corner of the room, being all fucking emo,
A grumpy
listening to My
pants.
Chemical Romance, like, oh, this speaks to me.
Oh, the puns suck. No, it was either that or
Everyone's
you
just
had
a bunch of
bornitis. But
conformists.
yeah, it was either that or you had bornitis.
No, I like the funny bone.
Yeah, it made more sense for Curly to have a fractured funny bone, right? So the good boy Joel's trying to watch over him, but he's like, "Oh, the player's here to hear a story, but Curly's no mood to tell it. So let me see. I know, I'll tell a
Yeah, because
story.
I'm
In fact, I'll
emo.
tell you something that happened when I was walking around, right? That type of thing, right? So quest start, quest ends.
Oh, and it would be like a fucking exaggerated interpretation of what he thinks happened, but it turns out it wasn't the case.
Yeah, exactly. This is where I'm going with this.
Kind of like Courage the Cowardly Dog and the whole theory surrounding that.
Yeah, kind of thing like that. So, anyways, yeah, he's telling a story of what he thinks is going on. So, anyway, so this starts off with Lucy and Dustin investigating the Cuddle Bear Land Park, and basically, this used to be an attraction a lot of people go to, Babyland, basically, right? And the thing is, something happened resulting in people, like, basically some people went there, they disappeared, they didn't appear anymore. It kind of had controversy and that kind of shut the park down in a sense. So this is kind of like left abandoned, right? So
It's kind of like a mix of like Goosebumps of Vanishing with like Five Nights at Freddy's.
sure, yeah, why don't we go with that? But anyways, Lucy's going there and Dustin's being like, I don't want to be here anymore. Come on, Dustin, let's find out the mystery behind why the Cuddle Bear Land disappeared. He's just like, there's no mystery about it. It's a baby land made for babies. Babies grew up. Done. Mystery over. right? And then she's basically mailing on him. She's like, don't remember, like, you owe me after what you did with Mickey, right? To bring that in. It's like, you
We're
still bring
continuing
that
from
shit up?
that, are we? Okay.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's bring this into this. That's why we're talking about the cat. It's like, you're bringing that
Okay,
into
I
this?
see, I see.
Come on, man. It's not my fault. Fine, whatever. So they're like, all right, let's split. Like, all right, how about this, Dustin? You split up. I'll go here, you go there, and we'll come back later to see what we discovered, right? And then you go next quest. Dustin's kind of like, stupid Lucy, him being grumpy
Wait,
as it were, right?
who
And then
made
all of,
the split up plan?
huh?
Who made the split up plan?
Lucy.
Oh, I was kind of expecting Dustin to make this plan, considering that he just wanted an excuse to get the fuck out of there.
Yeah,
To
maybe
his
that's
own
what he
people.
did. Maybe that's we could do that. Maybe why don't we split up
Okay,
then?
fine. You want to investigate this place? We'll split up. You go over there, and I'm gonna go over here, and don't bother
Or
checking on me.
or what better yet, maybe he said something in the vein of like, I want to get away from you type of thing. It's like, oh, great idea, let's split up. And I'm like, fine. you know,
Yeah,
misheard.
I can just like imagine him giving Lucy the look like this fucking bitch.
This fucking
It's like,
yeah, the
okay,
angry
fine.
face she makes. This fucking bitch. Anyways, yeah. Anyways, he's all grumpy pants walking. He's like, stupid Lucy, why don't I, all this stuff. And then he bumps into somebody, right? And he's just like, hey, what you walking, right? And it's like this adult. I'm just brought back to this evil
This
man.
adult
This adult
woman.
woman. What is she doing here?
This is like an adult woman.
Wait, is
She walks on two
she
legs,
walk? She walk.
bipedally walks up to the conversation like she's
Like
a part of it
she's a part of the conversation now.
now. Anyway, continue
Yeah.
on.
Anyways, he bumps into this teen girl named Sarah. As far as what Sarah looks, I don't have a vague idea. I kind of have a vague idea. Are you familiar with one of my videos? I think it was back in the 2021 recap where I kind of showed some extras things I came across with some artists who made the game. I kind of like show their portfolio, and some of them actually came up to things that were not ever released, like unreleased content. One of them being the fact that there was a costume for Megan to be in a swimsuit, and then there was this other character beside her that we have no idea who the fuck she was. My my idea was I think this was a beta version of Sharon, but I'm thinking like why don't we just use this design, right? This character design, which I can show you at the end of this if you don't know, but I figured
Right.
she could look like that, kind of like this kind of gothic tier. But anyways, she's get introduced to Sharon, who's interesting because she like Dustin looks at Sharon as a like this cooler Lucy. Like she's like, oh, this she's also investigating the park, but for her own real reasons. She has this kind of like this little podcast she does, which is like these
Oh,
mysteries.
that's what we're doing.
Yeah, exactly, right? But she's like this weird, how those mystery things, podcasts that kind of talk about these, like, oh, the secret of whatever, right? So she goes into the scene that kind of talks about the scene. The thing is, she had like when she was younger, she had her younger sister also went to this park, and her younger sister disappeared, and she's basically coming back to this place to figure out what happened, right? And
Right.
Dustin decides to come along. He's like, hey, I'm actually investigating this stuff too. Maybe we can tag along with us. She's like, sure, whatever, kid. Right? So,
Sure, whatever.
yeah,
Just don't get in my way, kid.
yeah, she's fucking like this
Okay.
mean girl, this mean girl, this bully,
Yeah,
this
mean
pop
girl, this
star,
bully.
this is a fucking mammy. Yeah, it'd be funny if that ends up being her look, but no. Anyways, yeah. I'm thinking that she'd be more of a goth-looking character, but this cool goth characters is like, oh, this cool. She's a cooler Lucy, right? Like, I better hang with you than fucking her, right? So, anyways, they kind of talk and goes into the next event, or this not the next event. Jesus Christ, the next.
Yeah, I bet it's over.
Oh, it's over. Next one.
Time to talk about the next one.
Quest line. So they come across what is supposed to be this building that looks supposedly new. Like, this place is abandoned, and yet this place is like brand new. It's like supposedly, like it's like if this ran like someone like new open. I'm trying to explain this, but it's like it's self-explanatory. It's a brand new fucking store. So they come into the store. It looks like it hasn't been touched at all. Like it's been abandoned, right? But it's been like almost like someone was refurbishing it, right?
Right.
So they come into this place, and it's like weird because it's like filled with merchandise and stuff like that, like almost like you would see at the park itself, right? And one of the weird things they come across is this weird wall of these plushies, right? And these Cuddle Bears. And so you remember, like, you remember the Cuddle Bears itself, but these are like new characters. Like they like names like Eric and Steve, and like, oh, Steve the Cuddle Bear. That's my best character. Like generic names, right? And they look like actual people in a sense, but it's almost
There's
like
Happy and Flippy and
Grumpy and
Silly. Like,
Sneezy
oh,
and
who's this character?
Dopey.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's John.
yeah, and that's John. I love that.
That's John.
Yeah.
We don't talk about John.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like a bunch of characters like that. Like, they this human, like, not human, like they're like Cuddle Bears, but they're dressed up like actual people. It's almost like, you make your like they kind of they frame it up as like, oh, make your own Cuddle Bear as yourself, like make yourself as a Cuddle Bear kind of thing. Right?
Oh, isn't it kind of like Build-A-Bear or
You're
something?
kind of like a Build-A-Bear, yeah. So kind of like that in a sense. So it's like, oh, that's kind of weird, right? And she comes across like a doll that kind of looks like her sister, but it's like very odd. Like she was like, she can't vaguely remember this happening, but she's like, maybe they ordered, like they actually went ahead to this place and kind of make this doll, but then that's when they lost her, and they're kind of like, where she is kind of like whatever, like whatever. Like maybe I don't know, something happened, so they're like left it. But anyways, Quester Squid ends. Then she gets to a point where they're walking around. They see this, like, they get jump scared almost by this weird, what looks like they thought for a second that this is like an actual, like, human, not human, but it's actually a costume character. Like basically it's Kira. But at first they thought, oh god, there's a person here. But it's like, oh no, it's just it's what you call, it's like one of those display pieces, right? It looks real because it's like a mascot costume, kind of like a mannequin holding a mascot costume in a sense, right? It kind of has these weird sayings, kind of like, try our new product, type of, you know what I mean? Like, buy my book, buy my book.
Watch the podcast.
Yeah. Anyways, but anyway, she's like holding a bowl of like these, like, try our new crackers type of thing, right? And she's like, why not? I'll try. And it's like Dustin's like, are you crazy? You know how old those are? It's like, chill, dude. Like the date says relax, dude. This says that they're whatever. Like the expiry date is not like for years, so it's like they're fine. I'm gonna try some out, right? Because I'm hungry anyways. I didn't eat anything, so I'm gonna eat some. Right, and it's just like, what, you want to have some? It's like, no, thanks, I don't want any of that. Especially like, that you stole it. It's like, I'll pay it later, whatever. It's like this place is abandoned anyways.
Being a baby, Dustin. Maybe this place was made for you. You baby.
Yeah, you big baby.
Fucking baby, you little bitch.
Unless you're a big baby, it's like, nah, I'm just whatever. All right, next scene. So they end up investigating more, and they come across a Cuddle Bear love boat of sorts. You know what I mean? It's not like a love boat, like, how the love boats are like Tunnel of Love type of stuff, but it's more like Cuddle Bear themed, as like a little stupid adventure kind of thing. Like, oh, Cuddle Bear Lane, yay! You know what I mean? Like those
ride almost, or just like a regular tunnel ride.
Kind of like a tunnel ride. It's almost like almost like a dark ride, if that makes sense. Like a tunnel dark ride.
We don't bring up the Garfield dark ride.
Garfield's nightmare. Oh no.
Yeah, it was a nightmare, all right.
Yeah.
Anybody who is that fucking thing.
Yeah. All right. It's its own separate thing, but yeah. Anyways, it's basically like people like it's like, I'm sure people got into shenanigans where people would fucking start making love in there, like what happened in real life. Like they go to the fucking Nightmare Garfield place and fucking start making whoopee, and then you got a guy going like, hey, knock it off in there. Don't make me come out there. Spying on you. But anyways, they go on the boat. Surprisingly, this thing works despite how old it is. So they decide to jump on to see if they can just find something. So they go into this area. It's a little bit dark, so it's the ride works, but everything else kind of doesn't move. So it's kind of like this creepy kind of like a band, like, you know what I mean? Like, when it's up and running, it's kind of like cringy kind of happiness, but like when it's dark and it's unsettling, right?
Oh yeah,
So
kind of like it's broken down.
yeah, like it's broken down.
It kind of reminds me of the animatronics from the Goofy movie. I don't know if you remember that
Yeah,
movie.
yeah, I love that. The fucking like the God, what is the fucking animal's possum. That's it. Yeah, the possum
Oh
pack.
yeah, the possum. I thought
Bueller
it was like a
and
goose.
Mordecai.
Yeah,
Hey
they're all
there,
like
American.
fucking breaking down and bouncing on springs and
You
shit.
sure is.
It was like,
Round torn hand upon. I still remember the song. Great movie. I love that. I especially love in that movie when Max is having a mood and the fucking mascot character comes out. It's like, howdy, partner. Who's your favorite possum? Don't touch me. Aw, you look so sad. I know. How about a big hug from Lester? Don't even think about it. You're gonna be all good inside. Beat it, loser.
oh, that little,
And it gets
that
attacked by the fucking kids.
and the
Uh,
fucking the little girl with the big thick
fucking
fucking
smile. I
glasses.
love. I love when Goofy's
She
like,
just
"All right,
looks
let's
at
take a
Max and goes,
picture of the opossums," and the motherfucker is hanging upside down. Come on, Maxie. Speaking, remember we mentioned about the Goofy movie before last year around the same time because of the update that My Harry Valentine's because the fucking
oh
Bean's
yeah, with
car
the
was.
transformation scene.
Oh fuck, man, that was.
He turns into his dad.
What's wrong?
That was some fucking hilarious shit.
What's funny too is what's weird about it is this like Roxanne for a lot of people were like that was like their awakening animal, if that makes sense. It's like, oh, I'm feeling stuff.
Yeah, she was like before Lola Bunny.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't know why they made her like actual like made her look good. It's just like that I get it, right? But it's still like,
Why is
ugh.
this character so sexy?
Why Disney? Why? You made me into a furry. Why Disney? Why? Curse you, Disney! Curse you, Mickey Mouse! Anyway,
Disney turning your kids furries since the 90s.
yeah, yeah, that's sad. That's the truth, though, too. Like even back in the old days. But one thing I would add about the whole, I love Pete in that. That's so fun.
Oh yeah.
That movie's so great, by the way. I love that. Just like we got fucking Pete. Oh,
You
oh,
know, it's too
oh
bad we
man,
didn't see.
almost. Watch this, PJ. Yes, sir. What is it?
You know, it's kind of sad that we didn't get to see Pete's wife until like Goof Troop came out. You know.
Oh my gosh, she was a MILF. Fuck.
Yeah, right. She was like way before Pixar.
Yeah, I love it too. She acts like she's such a hard ass on her husband, but it's like when it comes to Goofy, he's like,
Oh yeah.
oh, Goofy. It's just like, and we find out it's because she and him were in the tryout, like they were cheerleaders, I think, right back in the high school age. So it's like, oh, hey, Peg, how you been, right? And what's funny about the whole weirdest thing, I didn't realize Pete was a cat. I never thought about that, but he is.
Oh, I knew about that. It's ever since Steamboat Willie.
Yeah, I know that, but it's just like I didn't put together. I thought he was a dog of some kind, just because he looks like a weird ass fucking cat. But okay. Anyways, one of the interesting things about I remember there was a video on YouTube talking about how like this called Pete the Power Cuck. It's like it's funny. It's basically like like hey, what you but he's talking like Pete's talking to Goof. He's like, hey, what are you thinking, Goof? It's like, oh, she is sort pretty. Yeah. You want to fuck her? What? Yeah, you want to fuck her? I mean, I won't blame you. Ever since the wife died, I know that you were feeling lonely. So whatever. And then his Pete Peg comes in. It's like, Hey, you two, what are you talking about? Yeah, Goof, what were we talking about? It's like he flat out talks. It was like, you want to fuck my wife? He's like, what? Yeah, you want to fuck my wife? It's like, I know the wife died and all. I just want to make it looking out for you, buddy. Yeah, nice ass on that. Yeah, but yeah, you know what the thing is? Here's the thing. A lot of when it comes to, I'm going on a tangent right now. When the whole Butch Hartman hips type thing, what
Oh
they
yeah.
coined it. The reasoning why, especially when it comes to North America, why a lot of fucking cartoons in like when it comes to like America slash Canada thing, why they have such fucking fat asses. And like, I'm just reminded of that scene. So, yeah, great ass, and you got your head.
And you got your head all the way
Is
up
it
here.
because we like
When
it,
I think
thick
about women's
asses,
asses,
and
just
hips and shit?
something comes out of me. But anyways, yeah, the Butch Hartman hips is what they dubbed it. But the reasoning why is because for some reason up in America, we can't sexualize women with big breasts, despite the fact that there are women who have big breasts, but apparently that's sex. Like you can't do that. That's sexualizing the character. But for some
Oh,
reason,
that explains why America hates Japan so.
yes, because they're the opposite. They are more of the whole. Because again, how can you tell a kid from an adult, right? For guys, it's basically like, oh, they got muscles, they're big, you know what I mean? But women, they're more petite, like they're more shape, right? So they can't do breasts, so they go with the sure mix a lot idea of fucking fat, big hips, and that's like a-okay. So you can make them fucking fat as hell, and that's fine.
I mean, I don't blame them for making thighs that big. I mean, I've
Yeah,
been a thigh guy for
I'm
a
a
long
Sir
time.
Mix-a-Lot fan myself. What can I say?
I mean, fuck, my favorite food is chicken thighs.
Hell yeah,
That's how much
buddy.
of a thick guy I
Hell
am.
yeah. Hell yeah,
Nothing
brother.
but a good chicken
Anyways, yeah,
thigh.
we're going off topic. Don't you love this podcast episode? We get to go on topic of stuff. That's a
You
great.
know what's even funnier? Grimm is supposed to be on a time crunch, and yet we're talking about goof troops and
Hey,
goofy
I'm okay
movie
with that. We're getting
chick
on.
pop.
We're okay. We're okay. I understand that. Look. If this is gonna get out memes of you drawing stuff, I'm all for it. My wallet's gonna be sad, but you know what? As long as I get good pictures, I'm happy.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna draw a lot of good pictures.
Okay, yeah. So you're already writing this stuff down to remember what we're doing?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Anyways, so
No,
what was
one
it?
of them I liked a lot was like emo curly.
Yeah. Oh my God, Fleck. All right,
Also,
where
you
were
would most
we?
likely have to, in case I do forget, you would most likely have to send me audio of it so I can myself. Like I know
I could
that's kind of.
try, but my God, the file size is gonna be ridiculous.
I
I'll
mean, you
try.
could send it to me in like short parts or something.
If yeah, I can try. The keyword is try. I'm trying to think what the like. You could write stuff. Anyways, we'll talk about that after the podcast. So let's just get back
Yeah.
into this. So we were left
Right.
off.
I forgot we were doing something.
Yeah, we were doing something productive, right? Wait, where was that? Oh yeah, we were at the Love Boat scene. So they're in the Love
we kind
Boat,
of defaulted to Garfield tonight.
rub it up. Yeah, because of the whole fucking the Zashin Park. I love the fucking broken animatronics. By the way, get on point, Grim. Fucking scarecrow.
We're doing it again.
Anyways, they're on the ride. They think they make a comment at them being creepy, and then all of a sudden, Dustin's pointing out, it's like you're looking weird. Like what's going on? Why is your nose looking weird? It's like, oh my god, something's happening to me. I'm transforming. It's like, and then he went through the dark tunnel, and then the quest starts, and then the quest ends, and then he's like, Sarah, are you there? It's like, don't joke on me, Sarah. And then you get to a point where you get to see the fucking admire and love plushie again. It's just like, I love you very much. It's like, oh my god,
Oh god.
she turned into a
Oh,
regular plushie.
fuck off with that.
Yeah, that's the twist. Because the thing is, the reason I was coming up with this idea with that, and in fact, is it's based on the the actual book material, because at the end the fucking little brat sister ate the crackers, and he's like, well, I guess I'm gonna get a Cuddle Bear on my own. I'm just like, you know what'd be funny if that actually is like a Cuddle Bear, like actual marketable plushie plus. So I'm just like, yeah, that's a great idea. That's why they disappeared. The fuckers turn into marketable plushies. Peter,
But no,
don't
Plastic,
turn
don't turn
into
me into a marketable
plushie.
plushie.
Ah! Screams in agony pain. I have no mouth and I must scream. I have stitch mouth. I must scream. Head, head, head empty. No thoughts.
Full of fluff.
Yeah, full fluff. Yeah, so that's the twist. It's basically like, she turned into a plushie, but don't worry, we're getting to the juicy part. This is where it gets better. So, anyways, Dustin sees this happening and he's fucking freaking out. So he gets off the goddamn ride, and then they're going to meet Lucy, right? So Lucy and Dustin meet up again, and she's like, "Hey, Dustin, did you find anything? I found some interesting thing." Dude, Lucy, you can't fucking believe this. Look at this. And he's like, "Oh, that's a cute
Plastic turned her
plushie.
into a marketable plushie.
Oh, that's a cute plushie, Dustin. Where did you get it?" It's like it looks new. It's like, that's the thing. It was the girl, and she ate crackers and turned into nutty crackers and turned into fucking the
She ate some edibles and turned into this.
into
Just like these
this.
edibles ain't shit, and then turns into a
That's-
fucking doll.
Yeah, a fucking bootleg doll. A fucking creepy ass, like fucking goofy ass fucking doll too. It's just like one of those, what? It's kind of like how how the Five Nights at Freddy's have those plushies like look fucking stupid. I imagine it's something like that. It's just like Sarah looking like a fucking Cuddle Bear knockoff of that. Cute and adorable, but stupid at the same time. But anyways, it's like, he tells Lucy this, and he's just like, stop messing around, Justin. It's like, I'm being serious. Look, I'll take you to where we found them, right? You'll see for yourself, right? And then they go to the next quest, and the building's empty. Absolutely nothing's there. It has been abandoned, like most of anything in this store, which is like, but it was there. I was there, literally was there, right? And it's not like somebody just came in and quickly just grabbed all the shit and they kind of walked off. No, it's just like an actual abandoned building, like actually like nothing's there. Windows broke, shit, like you know what I mean. Like you've been to abandoned places, like, overgrown, shit like that, right?
Yeah, I bet.
So anyways, they go into the fucking place and they're looking around trying to see if there's anything. And she's like, I can't see anything, Dustin. It's like, look, I'm telling you what happened, right? We were in there full of there's full plushies on their stuff. And then there was this big fucking bear thing that had fucking crackers holding on there, right? And all that stuff, right? And he's like, Dustin, I don't see a bear costume. And all of a sudden, it's just like, excuse me, children. And then all of a sudden, it's the Cuddle Bear question. So this is where they bump into Kira. And he's like, bear, did it. She did it. It's like, Dustin, calm the fuck down, Dustin.
Imagine her just actually saying, Dustin, calm the fuck down. Calm down,
bitch.
Calm the fuck down, you bitch.
And here's the thing, Kira acts like a mother, so she's like, goodness, I didn't mean to trouble you. Like, the best vibe I can probably explain on the top of my head is kind of like, Toriel from Undertale?
Yeah.
Kind of has that mom vibe, if you know what I mean. Like, she's like that.
Yeah.
She
like
looks
motherly.
Yeah, she's mothery. So she basically looks like she's like anything. She's been abandoned, kind of like fucking what you call her, like whatever you like to make her look like. But she still has she looks odd, but she's caring. She's not an evil character, right? So she's like, I didn't mean to scare you, children. I just heard some noises and I wanted to see what's going on. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, ma'am. Were you on this place? Like, what happened here? Right, and he's just like, going to tell the story of like what, that basically she was getting accused that she had something to do with the disappearance and whatnot, and she's just like, look, I don't know what happened. All I know is that, I ran this park, things happen, and then now it's gone, and I'm just kind of like, reminiscing everything. Like, I only wanted to do was make people happy, right? And now we're here. Now it's left abandoned, right? And
Right.
and Lucy's kind of like feeling sad for her. It's like, oh, I'm sorry about that. And then Dustin's not buying this shit. He's like, no, fucker, I know what you did. I know you did this, right? And of course Lucy's getting on his ass. It's just like, no, stop it, Dustin. You know what? I'm sorry, ma'am. You could take this back. And she's like, oh no, no need. You can keep it as long as it makes you two happy. That's all that matters, right? So she's like, no, that's very nice of you. So like, come on, Dustin, let's leave. Right, and she's like, and then we get to the last quest kind of thing, and she's like, Dustin's kind of like, no, Lucy, I'm telling you the truth. I'm not lying, right? And she's like, Dustin, I can't, like, I get enough of this shit. The thing is, like, I understand what happened now. Something, like, she had nothing to do with it. She's just a poor woman who wanted to make something, and then this happened. So she's just now, like, you're believing her shit? You're believing her shit? And she's like,
You're buying this at face value, Lucy?
yeah, really, Lucy? Really? You?
Dustin, calm the fuck down.
Yeah. She's not like Dustin. She doesn't look anything like she's just a woman who's just living her thing. I feel sorry for her. We should probably leave her alone, right? And then she's like talking, and then he's like, after she's walking away, she's kind of he looks at the plushie. He's just like, I know what happened there. Don't worry, Sarah. I'm gonna help you with this. And then you have fucking Sarah doing a cringy line again. I'm so loves the Lord, bear the loves the love. Didn't have Lord Washington? There's the same bear home, man. I guess. Yeah, but no, I love you very much. That's definitely a must. But I don't know what other stupid puns.
Like that would make fucking Meanie puke.
Not Christmassy enough. We need more Susie. Anyways, so now we end where Drool's just like, well, that's the story. Was like what happened? Like, did Dustin actually like have did that happen to Dustin, or was he making this shit up? No one will know. And then you got Curly be like, Drool, I need this now, right?
It's like, Drool, I feel alone and empty. It's like, you don't have any organs, master. Exactly. The world is
I hate my life. Why am I even alive? I'm living in the crypt, for fuck's sakes. Life is
What's
meaningless.
the point of being alive?
His fucking hair. I can imagine his hair being droopy, like fucking side-eye.
Yeah, like
one
an emo.
Like that one of the Sinister Six characters that's fucking emo. Like fuck God. Yeah, but he's like, all right, well, I hope you enjoyed the story, kids. Happy travels, woof woof, and then it's like, and so that's the main story there, right? So, thoughts on that?
I mean, other than the fucking divulging into other topics, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, and what's funny about that too is that you were mentioning how you wanted it to be a dark kind of like a psychological horror story. This is kind of it because this is fucking with the player as well. It's kind of like, did it actually happen, or was Dustin fucking with you?
Where's Sarah?
Was Sarah all in his head? Did he find the plushie and imagine the fucking character? Who knows? Maybe
Are we getting into the side quest then?
But that's the fun part. And then again, like you said, with Drool like over exaggerating things, that's probably what happens, right? For all he knows, probably Dustin's fucking around with her.
And therefore fucking around with like Drool because he was overhearing all that.
Yeah. So anyways, we get to let's do Kira's quest real quick, and then I guess we'll wrap it up, right? So
yeah,
Kira's quest is called Kira is Unbearable.
Oh God!
Come on, it's a Pixel game. We gotta put the buttons. Right. So I don't know much of the story's quest line. I got a rough estimate for this, so I'll talk about this. But the first part is basically Mrs. Dark's shopping for groceries. She bumps into Kira, which she was surprised to see a fucking mascot character there, right? But of course, Kira is acting like the motherly figure as she is, kind of like, mother to mother, right? She's like, oh dear, where's the where's the eggs at, or something like, something. She's looking for something. It's like, oh, it's just the aisle there. It's like, oh, thank you, dear. All right, she walks off. It's like, that's very strange.
I always forget that Mrs. Mark is actually a mother.
Not Mrs. Marr. Sorry, Mrs. Dark.
I
mean, Mrs. Mark. I mean, Mrs. Mark. Yeah, sure.
Mrs. Mark is actually a mother.
Yeah,
believe it
she
or not.
was a kid and whatnot, right? But yeah, that's true too. But anyways, yeah. So the task first start off with her calling baking cookies, which is basically, you know how Mrs. Dark has this roast animation where she's walking around in an apron and kind of like holding something. I can assume that this is the same thing with a plate of cookies, kind of walking around, kind of fuck Cookie Monster style. But anyways, so after that quest happens, then we go back to Dark, and she's talking to, and then she overhears Mrs. Marr and Mortman talking to each other, talking about the fucking weirdo wearing the costume, and she's talking about, are you talking about the current woman? It's like, who else? She's why would she be wearing that, right? And she's like, they're kind of debating on the fact that, there's no way a human being would be wearing that costume, especially in this kind of weather, and not feel like the heat. And she's acting like she's like normal, like this is normal for her, right? Right. So they're
Right.
kind of, the premise is basically the adults here are talking, and they're kind of like saying that she can't be a human because, first of all, the costume doesn't look like you can actually have a person come in there. And second of all, if you were in a suit like that, you'd be fucking melting your ass off, right? So you're kind of like, okay, so she can't be a human. Cross that off the list. Next quest happens. Aaron and Shock are basically out and about doing whatever daddy and daughter do. Daddy daughter
Well,
do.
just stealing military
Oh,
weaponry and using it
daddy
for
daughter
their own
stuff.
evil, nefarious purposes. Trying to teach your daughter some federal tribes and get away with.
I'm kind of reminded of that scene from BoJack Horseman. It's like, okay, come on, Dad, let's go to have daddy daughter time in the bathroom. What are you doing in there?
That.
Oh, daddy daughter stuff. But
Okay.
yeah, it's stupid. But anyways, yeah. So they're doing the typical stuff. They bump into Aaron, and Shock is kind of like, oh, this is interesting. I've never seen one of you before. And she's like, excuse me. It's like I don't know what the costume, like your design, and all that stuff. It's like this is just apron. Like I don't know what she's wearing, but she could be just wearing an apron for all I care. But it's just like she's just wearing basic. She's basically talking as if the costume she's wearing is not a costume. She's just like this is what she is. So she's like, I'm just wearing this. You know what I mean?
Right.
But she's kind of getting offended by Shock because he's assuming like whatever, right? So she gets offended, kind of fucks wrong, walks off or something like that. And the quest line here is clearing rock. I said something about clearing rocks. Basically, I wanted to show some sort of animation where she's able to lift something heavy, or do bear stuff and like scratch something or something. You know what I mean? Like kind of shows that she has power to her. So she's not just a mama bear figure. She actually is a fucking like a bear of sorts, in the sense that she has, she could fuck you up if she wanted to, kind of thing, right? Because
Right.
she got
I
angry.
really
She
have.
got angry by like getting harassed by fucking Shock. So she's like fucking taking her anger out on rocks or something, right? And
Right.
then like Aaron's just kind of talking to her dad. She's like, "Oh, why did you do that, Dad?" He's just like, "I could have sworn that was an animatronic. Like, like I didn't make that, but it seemed like an interesting mechanic, right? I'm wondering all that stuff." And it's like, Dad, she can't be an animatronic. I already scanned her, right? She like I don't detect any electronics on her at all. She doesn't even have a phone. She's like, weird. I could have sworn she was an animatronic, right? So she's like, okay, so she's not a robot. So you see where I'm getting with this quest line, right? I'm trying to exit out all the possibilities of what she could be, right?
Right.
Next quest. So now we get to Sharon and Andrew. I'm assuming that's Andrew. Yeah, Andrew Crawl. So Sharon and Andrew are talking, right? And they're kind of like doing ghost stuff, whatever that might be, because Sharon just accepts the fact that she's a
I can
ghost.
imagine the ghost stuff, the quote unquote ghost stuff, is just the two of them doing like this dance or the spooky month dance.
Yeah. With the dancing, and then they come across Kira, right? Yeah, they come across Kira, right? And she kind of like thinking like, "Hey, look at that! Hey, look at that weird character over there, man! Isn't that something?" And she's just like, "Yeah." Can you imagine that somebody's actually probably haunting that thing? It's like, what do you mean? It's just like, well, think about it. Like, fucking, like, it's not the possibility. Like, you remember that time when you fucking took over the clothes, whatever, and they're like, oh yeah, I remember that. You know what I mean? Like, they possessed items, right? So they're thinking that, oh, it's a ghost that's presenting this what do you call it, right? And then
Yeah.
her animation is basically something called, let's see this, repairing plushies, where it's self-explanatory, where she's kind of like applying something there, right? Like in her normal stuff. So
Right.
so basically that happens, and then they're kind of ruling out the fact, like they're kind of talking to themselves, and they're kind of ruling out the fact that maybe it can't be a ghost per se, because it seems like it's very. I'm trying to say it's not like a costume, is what they're saying. It's like it can't be a costume because she's able to kind of be able to pinpoint and actually stitch together a plushie, like you know, having a stuff like that,
Sentient.
like that particulate like that. It's like that's impossible, right? So they're kind of ruling that out. So she can't be a ghost. So she's not a human. She's not a ghost. She's not a robot. Okay, what is she, right? Then we get to our last quest. So Will and Courtney are doing their dates because, of course, we're gonna bring those two up. Those are a couple. I swear to God, fucking Courtney is what do they call a boss babe bitch. This woman, I'm still on that thing. This man, this cheerleader. Anyways, so Will and Courtney are on their date, kind of walking. They bump across Kira, right? And they're like, "Oh, I'm so sorry," being all nice and polite and all, right? And she's kind of just like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I was just gonna have a dinner, like I was just gonna have a meal here, whatnot, right?" And
Mhm.
she was asking like, "Oh, do you want some?" And she's like, "Oh no, thank you, damn. I better go." And it's just like, walk off. And I was like, okay. So our last quest is basically kind of like picnicking. So basically, like the whole teddy bear picnic thing. So she's like actually sitting down on a picnic table kind of thing, or eating honey, fucking like Pooh Bear. Why not? Right? Mm,
Honey.
honey, right? And it's kind of eating that type of stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then it kind of ends off with Will kind of talking to coming to Courtney. It's just like, did you get a bad feeling from her? And she's like, what do you mean? It's like, the thing is, I could sense stuff, right? Like he's a wolf, so he can see senses and smells and whatnot. So he could detect
Yeah.
what she could be, right? And she's saying that he can't be like she's not. The thing is, she looks like she could be a monster, right? Because she's not a human, she's not a ghost, she's not a animatronic, right? So she could be only be a monster, but that's the thing that fucking bugs him, is that it smells like a costume, like you would normally suspect, but there's nobody there. There's no sense of a human or anything that can detect what she is. So all they know is that this is a fucking inanimate object that for some reason is moving around like a fucking human, like an actual character, right?
Oh, now I'm starting to see where the big yellow reference.
Yeah. So this is where it kind of goes, oh, that's what she is, right? So she's basically a slappy in a sense, right? She's basically an inanimate object that is actually alive, but more alive than normal. So
Right.
that's where I'm going with this, because that's like the self, like that's I like that. That was kind of the whole unbearable thing, is it kind of like fucking figuring out what the fuck is she. So yeah, she's an inanimate object. So that's why it makes sense when we first saw her that she looked like she's a fucking mannequin, because you know they probably, as far as she knows, she's sleeping like this. So yeah, no,
Right.
that's my self-explanatory on that. And her animation going to her little home is basically watch over cubs, is what I call it.
Ah.
Yeah. So, anyways, I think that's all the ideas I got. So,
Because I remember, I think when you first pitched me this idea, I thought that at first you wanted Sarah to be her as like a psychological DID type shit going on.
that was what we were talking about, but then I thought a better idea. I thought it'd be a better than it's all in the head thing. Because here's the thing, I'm like you. I don't want a fucking another human boring ass character, right? I want an interesting character. So Kira it would be, right? So,
Well, I would imagine her just walking around as Kira, and you would all have like things that like say Kira or make mention to Kira, and she would ultimately be Kira, but we don't know who Sarah is,
kind of
and
like
we
how
maybe find
Vanessa
out in the
and Vanny are
second
one
season.
and the same.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, maybe that could be a possibility. All right.
Like,
Maybe
that's the thing I imagine when you pitch the whole, the that idea.
you know what? That could be a thing. Maybe what? Here's the thing too, right? Here's because as far as we know, for Dustin, he didn't see the transformation happening. She sees something was going on, and then she sees this plushie. What is to say
Exactly.
that she didn't fuck with him and that she was in the costume?
And
But
what
then
if, hypothetically, the only way she can become Kira is every time she.
yeah, you got lost there. It's like hey, you left me on a
Oh,
cliffhanger right there. You're like, what if? And then just like nothing.
okay, let me try this again. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, what if she constantly changes to Kira every time she.
You did it again. What if she turns
God
Kira and
damn it!
like I swear this is what happens. Like what if she turns to Kira? I'm
Okay. Okay, so clearly this idea is too good for Discord to even fucking.
Oh,
Okay,
I
so-
get where you're going with this. I get where you're going. I fucking love it. I love it. I love what you're going. I know where you're going with this.
okay,
So what?
recite it to me so that way I know where you're with this and that Discord doesn't keep
What
cutting
if?
me
I
fucking
don't
off.
know how she turns into this, but what if she does turn into the fucking mascot costume?
Well, no, that's not what I was going with.
Oh, okay.
Like,
I'm sorry.
I feel like she would like transform into the Kira character every time she eats the crackers.
Yeah, you know what? That's like a trigger thing for her.
Yeah,
Fucking
exactly.
goofy movie transformation there. Oh, oh. She fucking turns into a mom character. Yeah. You know what? No, that could be even better. That could be even better, right? And that could
No,
explain that could explain also the fact that she's not even a fucking inanimate object. She's actually an actual monster character, but she's a human. But that's what's fucking with his senses because he's not. You know what I mean? Like I don't know what to
like,
call it. Like she's suspecting that
like
it's
I
supposed to
can
be a
imagine
costume,
like
but no.
it was like this whole fucking were chicken situation or like chicken foot from like Invader Zim where he like the guy actually thinks
Yeah,
he's like
yeah.
fucking were chicken
Look at me.
because he's stuck in the suit.
These fires are
It's
great.
like, oh, I
These
can
fires
feel
are
myself
nasty. These fires are
transforming,
great.
and
It's the
she
first
puts
fires
on the
I ever
fucking.
ate.
I can like imagine like she's like undergoing this quote unquote transformation. It's like, oh, I'm transforming, and she just like puts on the fucking costume.
I'm transforming. I'm free from my curse. No, you're not. It's a costume. Wait, you mean it was fake all along? That means aliens are fake. And UFOs and hobos. Well, no, those are not fakes. Well, maybe for hobos. Wait, no, not the hobos.
Oh God, and the
And the
uh,
hobos. Speaking of hobos, my favorite hobo was the one from the pig, the dark pig or whatever episode it was. The
oh, bad cat eat a
Hornbill
piggy or
turned me
something.
into a hobo. Word of advice. I don't want to be a hobo. Oh. And then he fucking goes ahead, gives him the thumbs up, walks at the door, immediately sees a guy eating a lollipop, snacks fucking guy while he's running off. I love that scene. Best one. But yeah, no, I love that. The idea that Sharon is Akira.
Yeah,
That would be interesting to see that actually. Just that she actually is like she turns into her. Like how the fuck does that work?
because I do know that like I do like the concept of stuff like that where you basically have your entire personality whenever like you change into something else. Like
Yeah.
that's kind of the reason why I feel like a lot of people really liked the haunted mask because if it weren't for the
Yeah. I just
supernatural
realized that,
elements,
yeah, because that's what happened. It's like this it's almost like his
yeah,
identity death almost, right?
yeah, it's like if it weren't for the supernatural aspects, it would have made like a top tier psychological horror.
Yeah. Yeah, we could do that. We could do that idea instead. That's better.
Yeah,
And that's great
exactly.
too, because that doesn't explain anything. It's just like what happened to the fucking part? What happened to the people disappearing? I don't know.
Ah, that's a mystery for
Ooh.
another for
They
another
they
day.
they left. Maybe she did turn her into plushies. Who knows? You know what? No. You know what that reminds me of? There was what was it? You know, Shrek. I know that we talked about Shrek in a minute, briefly with the whole Puss in Boots thing. But with Shrek, there was a moment where they did this whole Halloween tales, right? This spooky stuff, right?
Oh yeah.
One of them was basically, what if the big bad wolf actually turns into a grandmother that actually went after the little pigs? It's like he transforms, like reverse werewolf form into a grandmother who actually goes after the pigs. It's like
I never actually saw that one actually.
it's weird. I think I remember watching it on like the Nintendo 3DS. It was like
Yeah, I don't remember even seeing that scene in the Halloween episode.
it wasn't a
Or the
Halloween
Halloween.
episode. It was like a spin-off almost, like to the Halloween episode. Because I
Really?
know, yeah, I remember the Halloween episode in question. It was actually more interesting because they went back to like fucking um King Farquaad's land, right? And they did the whole spooky thing, and it's just like taking a picture. It's like, let's do that again. It's like, no, like
Yeah.
reverse. Well, that was fun. Let's do that again.
No.
No, we're
I
good.
remember like all the other characters who were seeing this. What the fuck is this? Donkey liked this?
Yeah, I know. I love that. Hey, remember this donkey? Let's play it again. It's a dude.
Yeah, it's like all creepy and decrepit and shit.
And then it
It's like,
goes on
what the
fire.
fuck?
It burns on fire because it's electronic. It's like, Jesus Christ.
And Gingy just like shits jelly beans.
Yeah, I love that. The fucking gags too. It's like fucking great. I love that. It's so stupid, but it's great. Oh, I love that idea. Fucking like Shara was Kira this entire time.
Yeah, I love that concept.
It's almost like it kind of reminds me of the Wallace and Gromit movie, the Curse of the
Were
Were-Rabbit,
Yeah.
where they're trying to find out who the Were-Rabbit is and turn it into Wallace, and they're just like, it's like he gets Gromit gets locked out from the conversation, and then he just locks the door, and he's like, "Bring me in." It's like, no. And then it
Yeah, I
turns out
feel
the
like
rabbit they thought was the monster is actually like turned into Gromit. No, turned into Wallace. It's like, hello, Gromit.
Hello, Gromit.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that movie. That was a fun movie too. That was
It
fun.
is.
What's
I
great
love
about that movie is that what's her face? Vanessa's, no, not Vanessa, fucking Crystal's castle was based off of the house,
Yeah.
which I loved. I was like, that's great. I love that when you get references, it's like, oh, that's great. Anyways, yeah, I had fun with this one. I am curious to see what happens. Yeah,
Oh, sorry. Now you cut out.
I'm just curious of what happens. I'm just, it'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, I would like to actually see how it all plays out and shit.
Yeah, to be creepy too. It's just like, I'm turning. It's just like what? Will she be in a costume too, or something like that? Like, how would that fucking work?
Yeah, she pulls out like a nearby costume and just deck, and then she just puts it. I was like
How would she
making all these weird groaning noises, like
Oh, hello, dears. It's like, oh, fuck. You gotta get out. They open the door.
It looks like, and it would be like a scene that you would see off of like a fucking Disney cartoon.
You know what's funny? There's a lot of horror that kind of does that, especially for that's a funny thing too. Some of the kids' horrors, like especially with Goosebumps and all that, can be fucking creepy when you think about it because it's like, oh yeah, it's made for kids.
Yeah.
It's like no blood and gore, but it could still be fucking creepy too in some aspects.
Yeah, it just shows that you don't need to be excessively gory to make shit creepy. Like,
And
take
that's
Slappy
what I
for
love about some
He was a
horrors.
really fucking creepy little bastard in the 90s.
That's what I love about it too. It's just because it goes real great when it comes to stuff like that. Like they're able to. That's the type of horror I love. Is that when it not plays in the gore. Like look, gore. I get it. Gore has his fans. It has its moments, but I'm more into the whole psychological fuckery type of thing, especially when it comes to fucking with the audience as well.
Yeah, I know Slappy did a lot of that during those episodes.
Yeah.
Like sometimes we just like sit there pretending to be innocent, and the parents think it was the kids the whole time. Like especially in like
the
Night of the
third
Living Dummies
episode.
3.
Like the third Night of the Living Dummy 3 when the fucking kid from what's his fucking name? Like the guy who plays
Zane.
as Luke Skywalker. No, Anakin Skywalker. That's it. Like that kid. Like he acts like a fucking scaredy cat bitch, and then he finds out
Yeah.
that he's been faking this whole shit entire time. He's just like,
Yeah.
you thought this whole thing was a
Like-
dummy being alive, and he kicks him. It's like,
Yeah,
wait a minute.
like- we were led to believe it was Slappy doing all those things.
Yeah, and then he
Slappy.
reads him
Oh,
though.
he's just moving the dummies around, and then we find out it's fucking Zane. It's like,
Fucking bastard. And then he finds out that Slappy is alive.
well, yeah, of course, because the card was red. But
And then
Slappy
he fucking
shenanigans
turns
come
him into a
after.
goddamn doll. Like, fuck. And he fucking plays with him like a doll. Like, Jesus Christ. Who are
Yeah,
you But the best part about that episode that made me laugh was Slappy dying. It's like the weirdest fucking way. It's like God comes out of nowhere, slaps the fucker, and he blows up like fucking TNT. He's like, what the fuck? Don't you
Yeah,
get it?
especially after he claims that he was invincible. That's what we call the Butch Hartman twist.
I love that.
It's like one thing happens and then the opposite happens.
Yeah,
Like one character says one thing, and then the
everything's
opposite
back to
happens.
normal, or is it? And then his head turns around like a dummy, and just like, "I'll be seeing you real soon, Zach." And like, whatever.
I'll see you real soon, cousins.
Fucking father, right there in the car, didn't see that shit. He's like, "Nope, not my problem.
Right.
That shit."
I would like to assume that he did see that. And he was like, "Oh, what happened now? I am not bringing him to see those."
No, I'm not dealing with this shit. That's your
It's like,
problem.
all right, I'm about to have to old yeller this bitch.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, we're having too much fun with this, so I guess that's it. Unless there's anything else you want to talk about with this, but fucking goofy movie transformation. Oh my god, can you imagine that? It's a fucking reverse for slap. It's like, what's wrong? Fucking bear mouth.
Another transformation scene I do remember that I could also feel like it would work just because of how slow it is. And it would also work well considering that Sarah would have to take time to put on the fucking costume. I don't know if you've seen this movie, but it was called The Page Master, right?
It sounds from wait, no, now I'm remembering this. This is the weird book where the kid turns into an animated character, right? And there's like the Jekyll and Hyde thing. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah.
Yes, the Jekyll and
That
Hyde
scared the shit
transformation.
out of me as a kid, I'll be honest.
Like I could imagine like Kira doing that whole shit, but like putting on the costume
Yeah.
like really slow and shit. And then when she lightning crackle and you see like this plush face looking absent-mindedly.
Yeah, that's the weird thing too. Can you imagine that? It's like fucking horrifying transformation type stuff, and then at the end of it, she's like a fucking mother figure, and they're just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's like, oh, that's it. That's not threatening at all. Oh. I'll be honest. The horror transformation thing kind of scared the shit out of me, but and just she's acting like because like this is a whole different person, like a persona of sorts. It's just like she has no idea. Right? She's like, "What are you talking about?"
It kind of reminds me of the multiple
kids and their
personality disorder episode.
It's like you turn into a fucking bear. It's like, oh, kids and their funny imaginations.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of that one episode. Like Butters is apparently diagnosed with like multiple personality disorder, but the doctor himself was actually the and Butters was just like only pretending
and
to be all these characters.
And you find out that he was the fucking Chinese guy this entire time.
Yeah,
like, I was the white guy this entire time. I changed my honor. Oh, stupid Japanese And we're going to Tokyo area. We go Tokyo. What the fuck? I remember that episode. That was great.
Yeah,
Butters. I feel bad for Butters, man.
Oh yeah,
Especially
since he had to like get rid of all of his little costumes and stuff for his like multiple characters because he feels like he's being plagued with like multiple personality disorder. But it turns out it was like
a kid playing
doctor and he pees in his mouth.
That was disgusting. I love that. Here, try this energy drink, Mr. Marsh. You'll feel better. this is calm. It's like the fact that he knows what that is. It's just like, wait, how do you know? Like I didn't
I
know what that
remember
was, but
that
you? Like you tasted cum. I was very ashamed of you, Butters.
one.
I love the VR episode with that too. It's just like, him in the VR. It's like,
Oh
whoa,
yeah.
this is cool. Butters, you are very bad. Yeah, fuck you, Dad. Oh, it's like,
This is for all the times you
Harley, I
grounded
think you
me.
need to stop it now. This is great, Eric. Yeah,
And it turns out they were like real people after.
yeah, yeah. It's like, I remember the Casa Bonita episode was funny too. It's just like I'm just trying to get into Casa Bonita, and it's just like fucking does all this stuff near the end. Well, kid, you're going to jail. Well,
And he
kid,
runs away
you're
from
out
the
of
police.
prison and you're going to jail for 12 years. How do you feel? Best day ever.
Yeah, they were
Totally worth it. Yeah, I love it. They actually bought the Casa Bonita area, and it's just like, that's. I didn't even realize that was a real place until like afterwards. Like, wait, that actually exists.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, anything else, or I think that's it.
No, I think that's it.
Okay, well, actually, maybe not because
Cool.
anyways, we're gonna end it, but we're gonna end it with a clip because the next episode is gonna be on you, right? Because you tease that you want to talk more about the whole Goosebumps every dime thing next episode.
Yeah.
But when you see this next tease clip, you probably just roll it.
Where's that stupid neighbor kid I hired to water them?
He quit after a week. Very unprofessional.
Really, Frank? What if his parents come to look for him?
Unlikely.
I
You know
love
what's
Frank.
funny? Like the Harley show is just... It's funny how great that show is, though.
Yeah, it is. Like out of all the Harley interpretations, that show is like probably the best.
The cancer gun was my favorite, though. It just like shoots him. Ow! What did you do to me? Oh my God, Carl! I'm so sorry that he got cancer. You gave me cancer? Why is there a gun in a cancer? You know what? That's it. I'm going home to my family. I'm sorry,
Okay.
Carl.
I haven't mentioned this before, but one of the other best characters in that show is Bane.
Oh right. I love it. Just like, hey, you sound like hey, you sounds like you when you're there. I didn't sound like that. I mean, you don't hear yourself talking, but I guess. Yeah.
I remember he had like beef with like this one guy who was like running a fucking slushy stand or whatever.
Yeah. Clayface was a mood itself as well. That was funny. With him being a popular girl. He still has the voice too, by the way. He doesn't even bother. He's like you said, you kind of mentioned like he was like Roger in the sense of a family,
Yeah.
American Dad. In the sense, it's like Brad is this like, oh my God, Brad is talking. Like you're going on a date. It's like, oh my God, I can't believe you right now. You're a fucking clay monster. I know I have feelings too, you know.
Why don't you love me?
Yeah, I love that. That's so stupid. And then King Shark was also good too. I mean, I think that was when I got introduced to King Shark. I know he was actually in the DC universe, but that was like the first time I actually saw him there. He was funny too. It's just like breaking him out of prison. It's just like, hey, new fish, yeah, fishy, fishy. Like you guys, I don't know talk about this. What I fucking say about that word? Oh, I'm so sorry. See, they're learning baby steps. I swear to God, if I come out there, I'm gonna fucking kick your ass.
I can also I also remember one scene where like Harley was like trying to like let's start up like an internet thing. They get like King Shark, and Harley's like, yeah, we've been trying to get like new recruits, but we haven't gotten any bites. And King Shark was that a shark joke? Because that's very funny.
Yeah. I guess with that we'll end it, I guess, because I think that's it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this episode and are back to season 2. We should have some more fun episodes near time, especially hearing what Vampire has in store. So until then, I've been Grim.
And I have been Clayface. This entire time, you have all been rused by my amazing skills.
That's a wrap.
Am I not a great actor?
Yes, you are. And
All
that's
right.
a wrap.
See ya.